We're using some software.
Yeah.
So I'm checking this out. Oh, it's working. Oh, I don't see it working here yet, but hold on a second. I wonder why it's not working here. So it says that we're live. Let me refresh here and see if this says we're live. This doesn't say we're live yet. Oh, it does say we're live.
Boom.
Okay, great. Okay, so our software is working. We're running some new software, and now I need to go over to the chat. It should be
there you
right
go.
there. Okay, so I'm not seeing the chat. So I guess I'm going to have...
Oh,
no, there we are.
There we go.
Says we're working. So the chat stream is working. I only see a couple comments in the chat. I don't know how well the chat's working. I don't want to be missing what y'all are saying here.
Wow. Olaf from Hawaii. I think we're not too...
Oh, it's not too... Okay, so it looks like it's working, right? The chat on the software is just a hair delayed.
Yeah, so I can turn off that now. Hopefully that'll quicken it up, because we don't need that either. All right. We are doing good, Carlos. We are doing good.
And James is spackling the studio. He's not going to be on the live stream because he wants to spackle the studio.
Oh, yeah, I can make sure.
And then
I'm just checking, turning off the Bluetooth on here. So then, yeah, James is working on sheetrock on the shop right there for the new YouTube studio. So that's what he's going to be doing right now. So, and then today we were working on
the greenhouse.
Yeah, the greenhouse.
So we're working on our greenhouse gases, y'all, to accumulate those in a house. We're actually building a house for greenhouse gases.
Yep.
Sounds very antithetical to the movement that's going about.
Yes.
And so, but we love greenhouse gases so much. We're literally building a house for them.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to sequester greenhouse gases in a house and then put our fruits, trees in there so that they
That's
grow.
A very good question, Carlos. How did the greenhouse go? Well, we just mainly got the layout done, and we got the one side done. You have to tap in all the posts for it before you actually put in the hoops. But the trickiest part was trying to square it up. And then on top of that, weren't working with perfectly flat ground. So we had a friend of ours come over, and Dad and him were trying to do some
math,
some hardcore math, trigonometry, and what was the other one?
We were using the Pythagorean theorem.
That one too. And it didn't work.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I knew eventually one day I would need to use high school math, and the Pythagorean theorem failed for some reason.
James was like, fall back. James was like, let me see this. So
I can't quite figure out
how. He took it and he taped it all off, and it's square now.
I mean, trust the science.
The science.
Trust the science.
So anyway, yeah. So it's very exciting that we have a little bit of a start of our greenhouse, and it's about half the size I thought it was going to be. I don't know why. I had pictured a way bigger greenhouse. It's 20 by 40, but for some weird reason, I had a greenhouse imagined in my mind like 20 by 80. So I don't know. It's just,
I don't know why our thumbnail that I uploaded isn't on there, but that's okay.
No,
it's all working. We're all good.
We all good.
We're using a software. We're using the free version to see if we want to use this Restream software, and I like it.
Hence why this is right here, the Restream with the Ukraine. Colors.
I'm not real big on that.
The fly in the colors. Yeah.
Whatever. What are you gonna do?
I know.
You can't get it right every time. And then so we want to probably use the Restream software. It said you could stream up to 2. We were gonna try to do a Rumble simulcast.
Yeah.
But you have to pay for it. And our greenhouse is a DIY kit from Bootstrap Farmer in Paris, Texas. So we appreciate Bootstrap Farmer, and we appreciate them helping us out with the greenhouse. We're going to get that up. Well, you'll see a couple videos on that, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, that's why we have the greenhouse, is for planting in in the winter.
We're going to do all our greens through
Yeah.
the winter in our greenhouse. So we have a shade cloth. Probably what we'll do is we will grow our greens year round in the greenhouse, and all of our more sensitive type trees, maybe I'll try growing some tropical stuff in the greenhouse. We already rooted a mango, so we'll have mangoes in there. And maybe we'll get some coffee plants going in there. Yeah. We'll get all that 9, 10B stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Going. So it'll be kind of cool. Suriname cherries, maybe something like that.
So this week we got let out of YouTube jail, and we are now allowed to play in the big boy sandbox. There's the little boy sandbox. It's like you kind of get to control the big machines a little bit, but now they kind of put us in the captain's chair a little bit again. And they're letting us try it out again, and I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. We got we had that one video from Survival Lily that's kind of went viral. It has
that'll hit 100.
No, it's at 115,000 views now.
There you go.
That's pretty cool. And then our other videos have been doing really good. I wanted to actually pick y'all's brain. How do y'all like the flow of things? 2 videos a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. And then on top of that, just taking an article and going live, but it'll be a real professional live stream. And we try to stay on track with stuff so then we don't get distracted and get rabbit holed. It'll just be, between 10 to 30 minutes. But kind of a little bit on the shorter end, but, and all current event stuff. So I just wanted to see what y'all thought about it and see if y'all like that.
And also, we're running our discount on our website.
Right there.
So 83K, capital K, for 10% off as we speak now. There's something I want to show you. Matt came up with a new T-shirt design, so let me.
Yeah, we can actually show you.
Yeah, now we
this
can
do pretty
do
neat.
Cool stuff here.
All right, watch this, y'all.
Lord
willing, this will work.
Technology.
Hopefully, this will work.
I hope this works.
So now, if you go back,
so I'm going to go back so I can see. Yes. Yeah. So this is our new. This is one of Matt's new designs. Comes in a hoodie.
So it's when people forget God, tyrants forge their chains, and I just really like that saying, and I just really like what it looks like on a T-shirt as well. So we have that in hoodies and in a T-shirt. So that is the T-shirt of the week. If y'all want to go pick one up, you can, and it's 10% off.
Yep,
so,
yeah, 10% off. Act now. All of our honey back in stock. We can go. So here's where you can navigate our website. There's the honey shop.
Yeah, and if you scroll down here,
see that all of our honey is back in stock.
Yes, actually. The creamed native pecan honey will be back in stock very soon. We're jarring that up right now.
And the other thing we get asked a lot is, do we sell our honey in glass? Only these smaller creamed comes in glass.
Yes.
It's so incredibly difficult to ship glass. Our candles get broken almost weekly. We usually have one candle that's a casualty.
Candles.
So yeah,
even though I wrap them, and wrap them. I'll spend a couple $dollars in just that compostable wrapping material. We switched from bubble wrap to that compostable, kind of better for the environment type stuff. At least you can compost it, or burn it. Doesn't matter.
Hey, look, all y'all looking for a Bible study? We can talk some theology here. At the 8 o'clock mark. So how's that?
There you go.
And we're gonna have, since we're only on the them tube,
we do have to use code language.
Have to talk a little cryptically. Yeah. Once we get this multi-streaming thing figured out, our format is we want to start here and do a simulcast, and then if there's anything that's memory hole stuff that we need to talk about somewhere else, we want to hopefully migrate to Rumble. Thank you all for signing up to our Rumble. We've went over 1,000 subs on Rumble. So we're going to be enjoying that platform over there. And we're working on it. Everything takes time. That's why I have all the documents that I need to start a Rockfin channel, but I think I want to focus on a couple things at a time so that we don't get too spread out and end up messing,
Good.
end up doing a bunch of things very poorly instead of a couple things very well.
Chicka-Wolf Ranch said, our honey order was wrapped perfectly. Showed up great. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we try our hardest to wrap,
Troy
wrap
texted
stuff
me
up.
when they got
Oh,
it.
yeah? Okay. That's
Thanks for the love, Troy. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, so.
Put the honey in a mason jar. Yes, you can. Absolutely. I mean, all of our bigger stuff, feel free to repackage it.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what we do. We transfer stuff to glass.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so let's see. What do we? Klaus says you can't make 2 videos a day.
Yeah, it's very true. It's very true.
Rec Law. That is one town in Texas that I've never heard of. Rec Law. That's a new one for me. I thought I've heard of everywhere. Okay, so let's see what's next. We can go to.
Yeah, this is pretty neat since we can go to our. So if you want to go ahead there and just type in YouTube, then go to the old channel, and go right there, and go videos.
And then just
click on the videos.
These are our videos for the week.
No, it's not. That's only from 3 days ago. See?
Oh, we can go like this because see, it's going to split. If I go to videos, it's going to split up our lives, right?
Or no, it shouldn't. No, it should show everything.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow, we've done a lot of videos, y'all.
Yeah, okay, including today. We'll go ahead and switch them over so then they can see what we're looking at.
Oh, do we want to? Okay, we're gonna switch them over.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
All right, y'all.
You're gonna see
a ride.
Yeah, you're gonna see what we're looking at right now. There you go. Boop, and now you can just go back. Share
it. I'll go back here.
Yeah. So as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 videos this week. That is insane. So that's the most amount of videos I've ever posted in a week. But the other thing is that
some of them were shorts.
1, 2, 3, 4 were shorts. So more like, what is that? 12, right? 12 videos.
15 minutes.
Yeah. So anyway, but it really didn't feel like a lot of work. So
aren't we high tech?
Who said what?
Goshen Prepper. Yeah, we're YouTube friends without a Goshen.
Yeah.
And we talk sometime on the phone. Carlos is frustrated with canning apples. Yeah, I got your pictures, Carlos. That's a bummer. It keeps the liquid keeps leaking off on him. We are super high tech, y'all, and we want to keep bringing you the articles. And so, what did we did? The warning from an Austrian.
Yes.
And I want to thank a sub of ours from Texas, of course, and she forwarded me that video and. Really appreciate the information. Actually, the warning from a cattle rancher, a subscriber emailed that to us yesterday, and or maybe 2 days ago, and we did a video on it the following morning. So,
what is quite a people on your?
Quite a few people waiting on your other channel.
What does that mean?
What do you mean, Mark? Quite a few people waiting on the other channel. On the Rumble, maybe I canceled
on the Rumble or
on the Rumble stream. It wouldn't. The software wouldn't let me connect, so I canceled it. But that was. You're gonna try to order some honey soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
hey,
that'd
Cassie
be a
Davis.
big blessing.
Another thing we can do, and what we might do, is once we get this software set up, we probably stream to our backup channel simultaneously.
Yes, once it gets over 1,000.
Yeah, right. Because we can't stream on there until it gets over 1,000.
Yeah, that is the dumbest law, whatever thing that YouTube has passed is the monetization thing and the going live thing at a certain subscriber rate. See. And it wasn't that long ago when we got on. I mean, it was way more free. YouTube was, at least when we got on 6 years ago. I mean, from day one, you could make your first couple pennies if you had enough views. But now you have to have, I mean, you could have videos go viral, but if you don't have over 1,000 subscribers, you're not going to get any of it.
Are y'all saying that we have 2 live streams going?
That'd be interesting because we only have 90 people on, and normally we have way more than that.
I'm only on. I'm only showing one on our.
Is it working on there?
Yeah, it's working. That's what I have on right here.
Oh, okay.
So it's showing one. So I think we're good. I think we're good, y'all. We're still.
So is it showing? Scroll to where we are right now. Does
Yeah.
it show us double or no? No, all the way. Like fast forward. Yeah, so it does show us in the corner.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, you're right.
So it does
Okay,
show
good.
us in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't know that it would show us. So we're super high tech, y'all.
Oh,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Or like right here. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're just checking out the technology.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay.
Prepping for eternity or prep for eternity.
The original YouTube link, then discuss. Yeah, and I think what that has to do with is where I think it's because we went live from the Restream
Yeah.
interface, and I think that's why the thumbnail's different.
Okay.
So, but I'll
Oh yeah, that is funny. Yeah, look at the thumbnail. It's totally different.
Yeah. Mark is saying on YouTube it's still showing a waiting room of 10 people. All right, so we'll get this figured out, y'all. It shouldn't have affected it. Maybe once we get the pro version of this and spend the money,
Yeah, probably.
it won't be glitchy as
Hopefully.
my guess.
Hopefully. Mark G.
But if anybody wants to hop into that other room and tell them that we're over here, that would be cool too. But because I can't find that other room, which is weird. But Pruitt family says love from the Pruitt family farm in Idaho. We like that you talk about the political aspects of what's happening in the food industry and the globalists attempt to take it over. Yeah, and what I want to do is, I've really been here. We can stop sharing the screen here for a second. Yeah. I've really been part of the reason why we moved and part of the reason why we started growing our own food and all this is because of all this stuff. James Corbett and James Evan Pilato have been talking about the food world order since 2008. So this is absolutely nothing new. This has been in the works, and it is much by pushing the information out there, it absolutely has a positive effect because Agenda 21 was supposed to have happened already. Now we have Agenda 2030. Now there's lots of extra goodness that's going on. But definitely by getting the information out there and showing what the Club of Rome wrote about in 1970, we're going to be covering a document from 1969 this week that predates that Club of Rome document. And it's all about controlling the weather, controlling the food, and blaming it on climate, blaming it on all these things that are all this unobtainium. It's like domestic terrorists and international terrorists, and we're fighting the war on crime, we're fighting the war on poverty, these generic terms. And when actually what they're doing is they're doing the opposite. We're fighting the war on obesity. There used to be, before we came the pleasantly plump America, there used to be a war on obesity and heart disease. Now that's changed because now it's like you can't body shame anybody or all that stuff. And you got to be real careful. I'm going to have to get into my newspeak here because when you get talking a little too real, they start to filter you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anchor Brand Ranch got kicked off of YouTube to Rumble. Okay. I'll have to check out Anchor Brand. Let's see.
Somebody was saying that people been getting demonetized, I guess, lately.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, we got kicked off for 7 days, but not demonetized.
We will be selling Food Farce in a Box probably end of October.
That is going to be so exciting, y'all.
And they're going to be
doing that. I absolutely love that.
They're going to be done very professionally this year.
Yeah, we're going to do all types of stuff. I want to have I want it to be really nice. I want y'all to be able to get it and just be able to not be frustrating at all, which the last one wasn't frustrating, but I think it could have went even smoother. So, we always learn from our past deals. So anyway, yeah. So the Food Farce in the Box 2.0 will be coming out this fall. It's going to be very exciting.
We'll be selling fruit trees around the same time. I have a lot of starts. I'm trying to keep them small so they're easier to ship. So, and what that'll do is it'll really push the root
Oh,
structure.
that is weird. Why are it made our shirts backwards?
It's because of this. But are they backwards to y'all? It's because of this. There's probably a way.
It looks backwards to me.
There's probably a way to
because on our normal live streams it doesn't flip them around backwards.
So that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's this software that's doing it because this is
the first time that
they're totally backwards.
No,
that's actually that's funny that I didn't even notice.
Did somebody mention that?
Yeah, somebody mentioned that. Go. Wonder why the words are y'all's shirts are.
I'll have to check and see about. Yeah, because we're still on the correct side of the screen too.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. And it's not the camera doing that, but anyway.
He's sitting at my right. How you doing, Mark Edwards? Anchor Brand Ranch, champion ropers of American 10 generations, the most wholesome channel ever. Oh, they must have not spoken properly.
Who?
That Anchor Brand Ranch.
How many subscribers do they have? Does anybody know?
Flip it in the settings. Yeah, we're using Restream. Okay, so somewhere in the settings before I go live, I can flip that around.
Maybe. Oh, is there a settings?
Watching
right there. Settings.
All right, y'all. Let's see if we can do this live.
Okay, go there to video. Right?
Video.
Maybe.
Oh, mirror. So if I turn, okay, what happened,
Boom.
y'all?
There you go. Went back.
There you
Bang.
go. And that's weird because now I'm on the other side of the screen.
Who cares? Because it's.
So how's that working, y'all?
Dang,
can you read?
I think you can read it now.
We're learning. Oh, and now what I want to do.
This is kind of like psychedelic because I'm on the other side of the screen actually in real life. It's like.
Oh, I guess I don't have enough zoom to we're using an OBS webcam. We're using an OBS webcam.
See, this is why we can do all this super
We're using
cool,
all this new tech, y'all.
Crazy zoom.
So, all right, we don't want people getting vertigo.
I know. Here we go. I'm just gonna try to scooch it over here, maybe.
Oh, there you go.
It's like backwards.
There we go. All right, y'all. Now you can see all of my wrinkles and there you go. So, all right. So now so that's better. Well, thank you.
Wow.
Like, we didn't even notice that. It's kind of. Well, yeah. So I think we're just going to purchase this software. I like it. It's very user friendly. I tried using OBS.
Texas data suddenly got
Matt's dreams have come true. So is that better? That's got to be way better.
Much better now.
Is that when it flipped? Did it? Because I definitely wasn't on that side of the screen though. So this is interesting, and that's very interesting. Yeah.
I'm 46, look like 70.
I'm 47 and I feel like I'm 80. So I'm with you, Galloway Raider.
Beard went with the screen.
Things are continuing to heat up.
All right. So what were you gonna say?
Let's see. What were we talking about, y'all? Before we started messing with the tech. We were talking about, we were just talking about, James Evan Pilato and James Corbett have been talking about this stuff since 2008, and by pushing the information out, and my hope and goal and desire is to relay this information in a wholesome way that's family friendly, so our kids can also learn about it, and appreciate it and understand. Oh, hey, mom and dad, man, why are you moving to the middle of nowhere? And why are you doing this? And why are you doing that? And if they're aware of what's going on, they'll be like, oh, well, I kind of get it now, because there are people that are like, yeah, but all my friends and all my stuff and all that stuff. Well, if you kind of understand the premises of different things of what's going on, we moved 8 years ago, and I'm very thankful to God that we did when we did. And to be really honest, if our circumstances weren't what they were, it probably would have. It was a 3-year plan that got expedited, and nobody likes change. and nobody likes to leave their comfort zone. And we did have a very comfortable life in many senses of the word, at least from a financial standpoint. And we could not stay. So we left, and now we're here, and now we have infrastructure in place, and not everybody's in that position. And some people are 20 years ahead of us down the road. And we're not planning for anything and everything. Basically we want to design and live a God honoring life, and we want to be left alone as much as possible. We chose an area that didn't have zoning and regulations and different things because we want to be left alone, and we want to have the ability and the flexibility to build what we want to build and do what we want to do. And we love our community and we love our neighbors, but I love the fact that I can walk out my front door and look to the left and look to the right and not see anybody. And I don't want to. If I want to see my neighbor, I'm going to drive to his house.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way he wants it too. And that's awesome.
Exactly.
That's kind of like the way it should be,
Yeah, we all mind each other's business as much as
Hi,
possible.
Bob. Hi, Tom.
No,
Oh, you didn't mow your lawn, Bob. Your lawn's looking kind of tall, Tom. I think I'm going to call the HOA. Oh, Myrtle, who's the president of the HOA, old Myrtle's going to have her panties are in a bunch if you don't mow your yard. You better spray some Graze on your front yard because Myrtle is highly upset. And her purple permed hair is almost set ablaze. Sorry, Mabel, or Myrtle, or Karen. Fill in the blank. What are you drinking, Matt?
I am drinking coffee. Cold brew. Well, actually, it's just brewed from early this morning, and then I reheated it. So,
Rico!
Yo.
The OG's on.
Dude.
What do we do if they cut off all options to obtain diesel fuel? That's a great question.
Well, I mean, you could get one of those
centrifuges and biodiesel, but you still have to have availability to vegetable oil.
Yes, and gasoline.
Basically, if they cut off fuels, the ultimate end game is going to be. That's why it's very brilliant. What our one friends are doing is using all horse-drawn and human-powered stuff. Yeah, because a real reality is, if they do completely, and I don't think it's going to be a complete cutoff, because there's always going to be parallel economies. There's always going to be black market economies. So I don't think it's going to be a total cutoff. But the beauty of having everything that's either horse-drawn or hand-drawn, it's realizing the fact that if these fuels go away, they're gone, and you're not going to have access to them, which that's the reality. If they really cut it off, there's not going to be a recourse for access. So even if you can't get diesel, you're not going to be able to get a large amount of the vegetable oils to convert it into like a biodiesel. So.
Exactly. Electric bikes, maybe. Nah.
Electric bikes is a potential option since you could but charge them with solar.
If just say like all of a sudden, I mean, they just turn off the all gas, or it's just all illegal. I mean, I think we're going to have bigger fish to fry, right?
Well, right. And I mean, I would much rather have a horse than an electric bike.
Oh, all day long.
The horse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the horse can probably go a lot faster than the electric bike. And the horse can probably handle better terrain. No, I'm talking about for a longer period of time.
Oh, yeah. All day long.
Horses.
Period. Yeah.
So.
Because then on top of the electric bike, you would have to haul all your solar panels and stuff too.
Right. So, we have horses. We don't have horses for bug out reason.
No. But I mean, we have enough horses that, I mean, for a little bit over half of our family could get on a horse and go. And we have horses too that could double, and we could get out of Dodge if we needed to, or go to town. It would be several day trek to town, but we could get to town. The one downside of living far away from town, but it is I think it's way better to having to trek really far into town than being right there near the flashpoint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Where's James? James is in.
He's putting this. It's on the other side now.
That's
Whoa,
right.
this is confusing. Whoa, that's creepy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
there.
right there. That door. That's so weird. It's that door right there.
That's our new office YouTube studio / website storage / used to be.
Yeah. AKA we don't have to pack all the orders, all the orders that come in from y'all on Mom's kitchen table. So yeah, she loves that. So she's letting us do that.
Mark's breaking it down. He says you can get a manual device that removes the oil from vegetable matter.
Huh. It's like
I would say grinder. The most
that's neat.
I would say a gasohol type vehicle is using the denatured alcohol off of, kind of like Eustace Conway had that truck with the gasifier.
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the most, they're real quirky and they're difficult to keep running.
Yeah. He showed that on the show, how quirky they are. Sometimes they take a little bit, but they do the job. Which it was funny because in his new season of Mountain Men, they didn't have it. He didn't have it in there on the truck.
Well, no, because the truck.
Oh, did it tip over?
No, the e-brake didn't work and it went down the hill and flew apart.
Oh,
so it's his gasohol truck's gone.
That stinks. Look into electric bikes.
What we're going to do is right now, we'll get a company to send us some electric bikes.
I mean, if I don't,
everybody else.
Yeah, they did. But the electric bikes are good for commuting, but not for hauling anything, towing anything. With horses, you can do all that type of cool stuff. Yeah. So there are upsides and downsides to everything, So.
No, we tried to con James into being on the live. He was like, I got to get this next coat
done because he's using Dad's ladder that Dad uses during the week. So he's not going to have it all week long unless he wants to do it when Dad gets home from work during the weekdays. So he's like, I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. And he doesn't want to do it tomorrow. So anyway, I already talked to him, Carlos, about putting down the spatula. Or the whatever he has, the tape in the mud.
You can boil wood.
What?
All right.
What are they saying?
The Mercedes, Rick saying that the 240D. See, my first car was a diesel Volkswagen Rabbit, and I sold it, and about 3 or 4 of my friends ended up owning it. And my one buddy had it. He put an oil exchanger on it, so you would start it on diesel and then switch it over to vegetable oil, and it would run great. And it was and
then what, do you have to end it with diesel too? Do you got to end it with diesel too? Probably.
Yeah, I don't think you have to, but they tell you to do that.
So yes, Mark, I would like to eventually get some type of wagon set up. I have my buddy that came over and helped us start putting up the greenhouse today. He has all the connections to get all that type of awesome stuff. So when I do want to pull a trigger on getting a wagon and stuff like that, I can contact him. And also I could always borrow it from him, even though it'd be very big and bulky, but he has all of that type of really neat stuff over at his place. He has he has all the Amish gear. So, and he's not Amish, but he has the grass cutter that's all manual and all types of stuff. He has a horse-drawn hay baler, horse-drawn big old beautiful wagon, horse-drawn cedar, all types of stuff like that. All types of neat stuff. He's got
lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. So,
and I think it's pretty wise. I mean,
it is wise.
I don't. They want to basically diminish everything we do. I don't think they don't want everything going to zero, but we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. It's very interesting what they're going to do. It's very interesting because there are a lot of people waking up. So the more people that wake up, the less they can get away with. So it'll be interesting how what they do and everything. And they're trying their hardest to raise up a new generation of kids that will be try to collapse the system. So They're trying hard to destroy us.
Well, they want to genetically
Well, that
collapse
too.
our children.
Well, yeah. Hence why they're feeding on poison, which was that video kind of blew up a little bit. But it wasn't even a shocker when Dad was like, oh, guess what? They found Roundup in the food. I'm like, shocker. And then we later found out that there was heavy metals and there was another one in there too. Not just
plastics, I think.
Plastic. Yeah, some type of plastic derivative or something.
All right.
Yeah, for real. If people in the city want electric cars, yeah, sure, go for it. But yeah, us country folk, leave us alone. Don't force it on us. Yep.
All right, y'all. So anything y'all want to talk about? We talked about some of our videos. We talked about what's our normal format?
Our normal format. That's a good one. Normally we do a lot of stuff like during the week. This week was mainly that was the one thing. Oh, y'all will be happy to hear this, hopefully, at least some of y'all. So the horse that kicked Buddy.
Oh, yes.
This is actually a cool story. I was really I really didn't want to go out and mess with him. Not like I wasn't scared of him, but I knew that he was going to be kind of like a pain in the butt because he doesn't like a bit put on his mouth. And he's kind of okay getting a halter on him and everything. So we contacted his original owner a couple times. And then eventually he got back to us and he's like, hey, I'll trade the horse out. He's a really nice guy. And he's like, look, I'll trade the horse out for you for a little pony that I have. Not a real little pony. It's just she's about 16 months old and she needs some weight put on her. And nobody's done anything with her. She's not trained, which is awesome. So she doesn't have any bad experiences or anything like Pedro had. So anyway, me and James and Buddy went out there and I'm like, this is going to be fun. I'm ready to burn a couple hours trying to chase this horse down and get him loaded up in the trailer cowboy style. So anyway, we went up to him, put the food on the ground, and I was able to put a halter around his face and I clipped the lead rope to him and I walked him up to the trailer. And then it took like 2 minutes, a minute maybe. And he was first hesitant at first, like, what are you doing? And then I nudged on the rope again. And then he just hopped right on the trailer. I'm like, close the gate, because I was like, I don't know if he's going to do that again. So I was like, wow, that was so easy. If I knew it was that easy, I would have done it. I would have done that a long time ago. But anyway, and then we drove and dropped him off at the previous owner. And then we swapped him out with this other little pony that Buddy got. And she's really sweet. Really sweet.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Definitely a rescue horse. Poor thing.
Yeah, she's definitely needs some food.
Yeah. Just somebody didn't feed her at all. Poor thing. And it's very interesting why, at least down here, y'all, some Southern people are interesting people.
Well,
but I don't know. It's just interesting how they do. Mm-hmm. And their style of starvation to train and everything like that. So we kind of believe in, if you got the critters sitting in a pen, you better at least keep their stomachs full.
If you can't take care of your animal, you shouldn't have.
You shouldn't have any animals.
Now we're not going to narc you to the authorities.
But no. You have the freedom to do that if you want to, starve your animals.
The freedom to be stupid.
Yep, exactly. But But anyway, so she's in a very better place now here at the house, and now she gets to graze around the yard since we got that all fenced in, and she eats her hay bales. And,
we could talk a little bit about
what's it?
Tank.
Oh yeah, so I posted that video. Sorry,
that was terrible, y'all. He started acting. What day was that? Was that Monday? Yeah,
that was Monday.
Yeah, because after we got home from church, he was just kind of laying there, and I'm like, man, he's just acting.
He was acting very sleepy the night before last, a little bit, and I was like, he's acting like a little, a little more sleepy.
He's just not acting like it, because Tank wasn't even a year old.
He wasn't even a year old,
and he was going to be massive. He was beautiful. He was incredibly
starting
friendly.
To fill out.
We had already trained him to all the birds,
all the electrical fencing.
He did great. He was awesome.
Yeah, he was Remington's buddy.
and he was Rem's buddy. They were best friends, so that night he was on the back deck and he was just like out down to the count, and he was like slobbering, and Texas mom put a big heavy blanket over him.
First we thought it sounded respiratory too, because he was like kind of dry heaving a little bit, just trying to catch a breath. So I went ahead and gave him ivermectin and just some dewormer or whatever, and to see if that would clear some things up. So I gave him that. He didn't barely even eat that. I mixed it in with some peanut butter. He wouldn't even touch it. Then I gave him some honey and garlic and apple cider vinegar water, nice and like warm. And he wouldn't really even drink that either. And then after mom covered him up with a blanket on the back porch, we kind of went to bed. And then during the night, we heard Remington kind of howling, but it was like a sad mourning type of howl. It wasn't like,
it was very weird.
Yeah. So he was definitely grieving the loss of his brother. So anyway, we woke up that morning looking for him, and we looked underneath the house, and way far in the back, we could see him laying there, and we called his name, and then he just wouldn't move.
Yeah, his eyes were open, so when you looked under there, you could see
he wouldn't
the eye
blink.
shine.
Yeah. So sadly, then we had to pull him out and went and put him out in the woods.
Because I walked around before I left for work, and I didn't see him, and I'm like, well, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we had one lab. He got attacked by a cougar, had gigantic teeth marks in his back. He went underneath that house for about a week, and we're like, that he must have died under there. He comes crawling out a week later, pretty much all healed up.
Yeah.
And man, that was Cletus.
Yep, that was Cletus, my road dog. Cletus adopted us when we first moved here.
Black lab.
Cletus showed up at our rental property.
Yeah. Big old fat.
And Cletus loved the ladies. So like what Cletus would do is he would show up for a month or two, and then he would roam, man. He would just disappear.
Well, he was like the neighborhood dog.
Yeah,
everybody kept dog food out for him. So he's always super fat dog. And we were able to put him in our car and then drive him over here to this place when we bought this place. And eventually he finally just kept on roaming, and one day he just never came back. And actually the one time he left, and then it was like 4 or 5 months later,
almost a year.
Yeah. And then he came back, and we're like, dude, Cletus, you're back. He lost like loads of weight, but
And then the last time Cletus took off, he just never came back.
Sadly, he was
good.
Cletus
was older.
He never ever messed with the birds, even though he was a lab. He never touched the birds, never did anything. So
nobody has the right to starve their animals. Well, I mean, how are you going to enforce it? You going to go there with a gun?
Yep.
How are you going to make them do something?
Hey,
you're going to call the law on them? I don't want anybody calling the law on me, so I ain't calling the law on anybody.
Nope.
I'm just
that's
just not my thing. I'm not down with that.
That's real freedom.
Yeah.
So
you have the right to do that. I mean, I'm not here to legislate to you what you can or cannot do. I mean, if that's what you want to do, you'll suffer the consequences of that. You reap what you sow.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to torture some animal, you're going to suffer the consequences of that, because we're made in the image of God, and you want to like do all this junk to little kids. And if you want to torture some animal, God created the animals too, and God doesn't think real highly of that. But I'll let God take care of that. I ain't going to narc you out and be, because how do we know all the information? We don't know all the information. Maybe they're not starving their animal, and there's extraneous circumstances that we don't understand.
Exactly.
I ain't going to call some cops and narc somebody out. You have the freedom and liberty to do what you want to do. Because, I mean, and that's just, well, how are you going to fix it, Lewis? What are you going to do? So somebody's starving their animal. What are you going to do about it? All right? Because let's be practical. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to do about it? I want to hear your solution other than freedom. If the solution is call the cops, well, that don't work.
That's not the solution,
because the system is weaponized.
Yeah.
And I don't want a weaponized system being used against me.
Exactly.
So
freedom is a double-edged sword.
We're practical. We're practical. You need to be able to apply it. Call the sheriff. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
No.
If I don't have all the information, why would I call the sheriff?
We're not those type of people. It was like the in Montreal, and they were going to use your neighbors. If you're a neighbor and if you see your other neighbor,
if you smell the wood burning stove, you got to narc them out.
Yeah,
you got to
call
the
311 or whatever. We are not those people.
That's not us.
Nope.
That's why we live where we live.
We are not.
We don't live around any of those people either. Yeah, and we've had some people in the neighborhood that don't care the best for their animals, and we've dropped off hay and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I ain't narking anybody out. It's just I don't want to be narked out, and so I ain't narking anybody out. That's just the way we roll.
Yep. Treat others like you would want to be treated. So if I don't want people calling the cops on me, then I'm not going to go call the cops on you. So there you go.
Yeah. So that's just the practicality of it. So that's why I would say such a thing, because I'm practical. Yeah, and you can offer help.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the people that don't care for their animals just aren't going to take any help, because I don't understand the logic of somebody that won't care for their animal, but it happens.
It does.
It happens. And that's life. That's the stuff about life. You know what I mean?
Yep. There's hard things in life.
Waco. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And what did the cops do? They set him up. You know what I mean? They set up that guy. It was, I think if you're ever in the area and you're ever down in Waco, we were down there and the kids were really young.
Very young.
Probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And I said, you know what? I want to go visit the Waco compound. We were at the Mother Earth News Fair. And I said, you know what? I want to drive out. So we found out where the Waco compound was.
Middle of
and
nowhere.
We drove out there in the middle of nowhere.
Drove
next to nowhere. And
middle of the field.
When you drive out there and you see where they were living and how they were living and understand the whole story, I mean, it's really sad. Now, these people had very spurious beliefs.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't believe, they did not have an orthodox belief in scriptures or anything like that. But did I want a bunch of kids to die? And did I want any of them to die? No. Did I want them killed by our government?
No.
Did I want the government to firebomb them and to shoot and kill a bunch of kids and women and David crush himself? No, I didn't want any of that to happen. And, it was all politicized by a Republican government. And they thought a Republican government thought Ruby Ridge was great. And they thought Waco was great. And they are the biggest despot tyrants. That's why if you think whatever happens in 2024, if you think some dude waving a red flag with an R is going to do something that's not going to be despotic, well, that's delusional at best. The last red wave brought us the Patriot Act. So if you're praying for a red wave, maybe we'll get the new Biosecurity Patriot Act when we take care of your bioeconomy and get under your skin and do all that stuff. So that's what's going to happen.
Yes, you could pray for them. Yes.
Yeah, the Bible says you should pray for the rulers so that you dwell at peace with them. And that we do pray for peace. We want to dwell at peace. That's why we don't want to call the sheriff on our neighbors that aren't feeding their pets properly, because we want to dwell at peace. And if we can help, we'll help. But we're not going to narc on our neighbors.
Very true.
See you, Galloway Raider from Ireland. All right. We bid you good evening and good night.
Yes, both sides are used for agenda. Trying to think of stuff. Oh, yeah, that was one thing. I was actually looking at an article that they passed a law. I'm pretty sure they passed the law back in 2019 for New York City that it's illegal to burn firewood. New York State, right? It's New York State. Sorry, not New York City. New York State. That was back in 2019, but they said you wouldn't really see any major things happen until 2022. And last time I checked, it was 2022, y'all. So if there's anybody from New York State on, I would like to hear y'all's thoughts about that law and how that's affecting y'all up there, because I thought that was pretty nuts when I read that. And I read like several different articles about it, so it wasn't just like one little article.
Well, yeah, they don't want us burning. They don't want us burning wood down here either. They don't want anybody.
Oh yeah. They
don't want anybody generating CO2. So whatever generates CO2, they don't want.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want it. It's not illegal yet here, but they want it though. Of course.
Yeah, and if people keep caving to the pseudoscience to sound pragmatic, it's just like all the people that have to say, well, we know that global warming's true. We know the climate change is real. You keep saying that junk. I don't care how conservative that guy is. When they say that trash, it's over. You concede that the pseudoscience propaganda, you're not, well, we know the climate change is real, but people have the right and the liberty. No, dude, no, you're done. You hear some politic saying that trash, you might as well just stick a fork in it. It's over. That guy is, if you're gonna cave to these PC, postmodern, cultural Marxist talking points, it's over. As soon as they placate to any of that, it's over. See something, say something in front of the Patriot Act. Exactly. Rat them out. That's just like if you smell somebody burning wood, call 311.
Yep. Trust the science. Mm-hmm. Oh dear.
Yeah.
And what was the article that we did today? That was
on the carbon wallet.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, they're floating.
That was pretty
They're already
crazy.
floating that in the Netherlands, and it'll just, this has been all part of the social credit score. So part of your social credit is how environmentally friendly you are. Mm-hmm. So that's part of your social credit. So part of your social credit score is obviously going to allocate and account for how much carbon you use and emit.
So it'll be interesting because it doesn't even matter, at least for us little people. It won't, us peasants, it doesn't even matter how much money you make, because if you have a CO2 deal, what do they call it? A CO2 or a carbon footprint thing that keeps track of it all.
The carbon wallet?
Yeah, carbon wallet. So even if you say you make 6 figures a year, but then if you buy too many things that have too much carbon or whatever, they'll just cut off your spending because you only have so much carbon spending power or whatever. So it doesn't even matter how much money you make then. Technically
it's all about
speaking.
Control, yeah.
Oh, yes. And talking about spending money, actually, Mom, what was the article about China? So they're giving Chinese people the government money and then they can't save it or anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can talk about that for people that don't know.
Yeah, so you get your UBI or whatever,
yeah,
and you kind of have to use it or lose it, and then you can only use it if you're allowed to use it, but it goes away at the end.
Yeah, so you can't save it.
Yeah, so you can't, and that's all part of inclusive capitalism, and that's part of
just
this
wicked
demonification of capitalism by corrupting it and perverting it and changing the definition, and then adding the word inclusive, because capitalism is exclusive, right? Capitalism is opportunity. We were just on a podcast this week. It's going to be coming out.
That was really
at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And he asked us, do you believe that the American dream is dead? And I said, well, I believe that the persona of what was pitched as the American dream is dead, and that would be the 1.8 kids and the dog and the cat and the white picket fence in the neighborhood. That's dead because it never should have been alive. That was a Hollywood marketing kind of thing. But I believe that the American dream, in a general sense, is opportunity. And I believe that there still is opportunity. I believe that we still do. We have the last vestiges of opportunity. We do not have, as much as we don't have a lot of the opportunities that we do used to have, there are lots of new opportunities. It comes with lots of extra challenges and hurdles and different things. But that the opportunity is not dead. The opportunity to work hard and to succeed is not dead yet.
Very true.
They're trying to kill it.
Carlos wants to know, where can he listen to the podcast?
Well, that'll be released on our channel after it's released by the original channel.
So can we say his or no?
Well, it's co-movement.
No. Okay.
Yeah, it's co-movement.
Co-movement.
Yeah, you'll know. We'll post it once it goes up. It's not going to go up until
next
the
month?
end of this month.
Oh, the end of this month.
So you'll know. We'll post it.
Yeah. Yep. We're just reading back through the comments, so if we go silent, that's what we're doing.
And with the opportunity that's available, I mean, what are you doing with it? I mean, what I see most people doing with their opportunity is they work some kind of meaningless job, and then they come home and watch the Black Mirror, and they root for their sports ball team.
Yeah.
Rah, rah, rah. And they say stuff like, we beat them last night, or, they beat us so bad. And it's just this, and then they play Call of Duty, and it's this, they want to
They're so removed from reality.
Yeah, they want to take men, and they emasculate them by giving them these trinkets like, you can root for your sports ball team and you're one of them, and wear their jersey, and that was a tough loss, or that was a great win, we really showed them, and it's
when they're not even playing the game.
It's all stolen valor. Yeah, it's all
they're not even there playing the game. Like, you're rooting for this team that you're sitting down and like watch. It's just kind of weird. I never really got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get playing like with your kids and everything, or playing with us brothers in a field, football and stuff like that. I get that, but not like sitting down and watching it. I don't get all that. Make no sense to me, man. Where is Buddy? That's always a good question. Campfire and rodeo. What? Rodeo events are happening in the backyard right now.
Since we have the horses at the house,
it's so cool.
You can forget about Buddy. Buddy is cowboy par excellence.
See you later.
Wearing the handkerchief around his neck. He looks like Roy Rogers reincarnated.
Yep,
right?
pretty much. I mean, literally. He's got the two little ones. They are doing poles. They're doing poles?
Yeah, he's got them doing.
Wow.
So.
It's hilarious when we go into town. I'll be cowboyed up, but then Buddy's like to the nines cowboyed up. Like, he has all the gear. He has the bandana on the neck, but not like tied a certain way how they used to tie them, and all this stuff, and the crazy fancy shirt and everything.
Buddy's his own dude, man. He is a trip.
It's so funny because he went from this crazy wild kid, not like
unkept wild.
Yeah, mainly just untamed wild kid, not like annoying or anything, just like rugged mountain man type status, to like this very cowboy type kid that's very put together type of kid. It's quite funny. So well, Dad doesn't just have one son, so I'm guessing you're talking about me. I'm 17. James is 15 now. Which he acts like he's 32. And then Buddy is 13, I think. And then
Mark still wants Buddy to make a survival video. And Buddy is actively trapping beaver and learning how to skin and preserve. beaver.
He told me he wants to learn how to shoot off of his pony. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. We're gonna wait on that. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Just a little bit.
And then, Mark was asking about our well. We're getting all our ducks in a row. So the greenhouse is going up. The well is a very deep subject.
It is.
That was one of my dad's jokes. So we love you and miss you, Dad. but it's high on the priority list. We're going to get one more price. It will happen. Lord willing, it will happen. It's going to be a very large investment, and we're absolutely willing to make it and ready to make it. And our municipal water, they're a pain in the neck, and they're just not very friendly. And
tell them about that.
We knew the electric bill was going to keep going.
Tell them about that. That's nuts.
Yeah, our electric bill is like $400 this month, and we knew that it was going to keep going up. But
it went up by $100.
Yeah, well, it's usage. And the rate hasn't went up. So.
And we just got a used dryer. Our dryer on the last live stream, I think, the live stream before last, we talked about our dryer breaking, or before that. So we haven't had a dryer for like over a month or so now. And then the electric bill went up $100 without us using a dryer. And we're like, what in the world? So it's pretty nuts, y'all. So
somebody asked, I think it was Mark again. They asked if it's rain. It hasn't rained here for well over a month.
Yes, I checked my last video with when we got rain, and it's been pretty much exactly a month. And it is dry, y'all.
It's supposed to rain this week, dry. So we'll see.
Lord willing.
But it needs to rain.
It needs the rain. Yeah, definitely.
We got a lot of rain in a short period of time.
Amy Martin said, I'm guessing her electric bill was $674 last month. That is expensive, but I don't know where you are, though. But that is expensive.
Sounds like you're in Cali.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Amanda's Homestead said, yeah, we had a $400 electric bill. How's the shoulder?
It's still there.
He was sludge hammering today, putting into the greenhouse.
Sledging in the
sledging.
We've considered solar. We're still actively considering solar. A very good friend, East Texas Homestead, is currently putting in
a lot of comments.
A solar system. And so I'm getting a lot of really good information from him, developing some connections. So, and Texas Mom has been binge watching all the Curtis Stone videos. We really appreciate Curtis Stone.
Yep.
Don't always appreciate his language, but appreciate everything else. And once again, this is why we try to make and keep our channel the way it is, so that people can.
Everybody can watch it.
Get the information.
Except for purple-haired people.
Yeah,
but you can watch.
Purple-haired people can watch.
You can watch.
But they should keep a fire extinguisher on hand when their hair catches on fire or when their eyeballs explode. Maybe duct tape.
You can watch, and I will hope and pray that you will consider your ways and your just what you think about the world.
Wow, yeah, they're saying it hasn't rained in Tennessee. Alan is saying in about 30 days.
Wow. Yeah.
Paying $2,200 a quarter in Adelaide, Australia.
Man.
And they have solar.
Woo!
Boom. Quarter. Whoa. That's $8,800 a year. Man, that's like $800 a month with solar. That's incredible. Okay, well, at least
I know they fly in so fast. I'm like, all of a sudden. Oh, they're saying plenty of rain in Australia. Well, that's good.
It's your rainy season, so
okay.
Hopefully it picks up back.
The sun will be blocked.
They're trying. They're gonna try
with the bubbles. The bubbles will block out the sun, and then they'll have to launch up another sun because they blocked out the first one. And
they'll launch the backup sun.
Stupid.
The Chinese did that a couple months ago.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And then how long did it last for? Like 15 minutes or something? 5 minutes or something? Like, so good.
I gotta Patriot-powered solar generator.
Because they want to be like God, so they're like, we can make our own sun, so we're going to shoot one up there and block out God's sun, so replace it with their own, because that won't fail at all. Of course it will.
You can scroll your mouse backwards over the chat.
What does that do?
I guess it lets us...
I mean, yeah, you can, but with this type of...
Oh, hold on a second, y'all. I want to try something. Look at that. How do you like that? So when we...
That's
when
neat.
we...
Yeah, when we're talking about...
question,
yeah, that's cool.
That's what we can do.
Okay, so if anybody has questions, put them in all caps, and we will put your question on the screen. Or if we're talking about somebody's comment, we can put it on the screen too. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Okay.
Okay, so that's a good... So...
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, Rick's saying no grid tie-in system.
Yeah.
We won't be tying in. They don't pay anything anyway, so...
I think that's how you say it. Neen. I'm in Florida. We had too much rain this year, yeah. And especially from that rainstorm that y'all just got. It was a doozy. More like a hurricane. Okay.
Dude, I feel like I got...
What?
Fly keeps landing on me.
Oh.
I feel like Barack Obama. Man.
Where is Barack Obama? Oh.
He's doing something. He was just in the news saying some crazy propaganda.
No, I mean the one that...
Oh, where's the Barack? Yeah. Where's our buddy Barack Obama in the comment section? Barack, where you at, man?
Just his avatar cracks me up. Okay. All right.
Making Bible videos back in the day. Hey, is Texas Mom going to have her own channel?
Texas Mom has her own channel now, y'all. And it's called The Texas Girls. And it is officially public, I'm pretty sure. I'm not quite sure if y'all could find it on YouTube. I mean, go ahead. Go crazy and try to find it. By all means. I think you should be able to find it. It is public. But anyway, yeah. So the thing is I wanted to hear from y'all if y'all thought that was a good idea. So, we definitely have a lot of people still watching over here on the channel, but I think it would be nice if Mom had her own dedicated channel, and it's kind of like a backup on top of the backup. So we'll have the Texas Boys Reacts channel for a backup for this channel too. And then we'll have Texas Mom's channel, aka my mother, channel. So just in case we get evaporated over here, we'll still have Mom's channel and the React channel, just to kind of diversify. And Mom's channel will probably be only like once or twice a week, but they'll be really nice videos.
And it probably won't come up until we post the first video.
Yeah, probably something like that.
It doesn't have any.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything. I went ahead and started working on it, got her own email and everything like that. So anyway, yeah, so all the...
So the Texas Girls, we'll let you know, but the reason you can't find it is there's nothing on there yet.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't find it.
But it's created.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So
and Texas Mom, I think having multiple channels is great, but it's multiple videos to edit.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I really like taking a topic and going live with it, because it's post instantly.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand, but we will sit down, film a video, especially if it's an article. It's way easier because I don't have to put it on the screen most of the time. But normally with our React videos, I have to
tell them how much time it takes soup to nuts with rendering.
Yeah, so everything. So we sit down, shoot the video. That takes about an hour, roughly. Setup time, prep time, record it. And then I have to download it. So I'll download it throughout the night.
It's blurry. There. Is it better? I don't know. It looks like, is it blurry to me?
It's going in and out. It's just the bandwidth, you know.
Oh, bandwidth. Okay.
Yeah. See, now it's clear again. Yeah. So anyway, then that morning, I will take it. I will start putting it onto Adobe Premiere Pro. I will go ahead and download the video that we reacted to. So by the time I start editing, it's about 30 minutes or so in to the morning, and then I edit it all, especially if it's 30-40 minute long video. You know, it could take me up to 2 hours or so to edit. Then you can't just go ahead and straight up post that onto YouTube. You have to media encode it. So I had a good friend. I bought a bigger graphics card, so now it does it in like at least half the time now. So it takes, normally 30 minutes, 20 minutes to median
our
code.
friend Mike, he has a tiny house. He's married now, so that's why you don't see Mike.
That's why you don't see him anymore.
Mike is happily married.
He was practically our big brother for quite a while.
4 years.
Yeah. So anyway, after that, then I post it. Now, since for some weird reason, YouTube no longer really fact checks my videos. I don't know why.
It does, trust me.
Oh, it does, but not for hours on end like it used to.
Buddy, what are you doing, buddy? Come. Hey, Carlos wants to know what you're up to. Come over here, buddy. So, there's Buddy, y'all, in all his glory. He was just out rodeoing in the front yard. You gonna come sit down? Here, bud, move over here.
It's backwards
in the middle.
It
is
I know,
backwards.
Isn't it trippy?
Yes, trip.
There you go. There's Buddy. So fire away. Mark was asking about you.
Oh, we're almost at 84,000 subscribers.
Well, thank y'all.
Well, thank you.
Hey, and if you're on now, go sign up to our Rumble and also sign up to our backup channel.
Yeah, so then after it goes on to YouTube, then I have to tag it, make a thumbnail. Making a thumbnail, if y'all have never made a thumbnail, I mean, I have to come up with the idea in my head from, I don't know, that's my most creative that's really my most favorite part is making the thumbnail because I can be really creative with it, especially with the Klaus Schwab ones and stuff. I just love working with ugly people like that, lizard people. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, it has to take me close to 5 hours to make a video or so. So then these live streams are amazing. Which is going to be even better with this restream because now we can pop the article up while we're talking about it now. So I don't have to median code it. I don't have to do nothing to it. So what? It doesn't have music in it or whatever in the starting and at the end.
And that's the other thing, when we upload, sometimes it'll clock because they're checking it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they do all this stuff.
I don't know.
And that's why I think Curtis Stone can get away with saying the stuff that he says in his live streams. Yeah. But I definitely know that they will shadow ban and deep six you for stuff you say in your live streams because they used to do it to us. But
they did. They actually would go to the extent of turning off the live stream. Remember those days? They would just turn the thing off.
Yep. Yeah,
that was nuts.
Used to happen a lot.
Yeah, that was before they got their AI bots and their pronouns and their fact checking real down packed. So they were like, yeah, just turn it off. It's way easier.
So shut them up.
Yeah, just turn them off. So blame it on bandwidth.
So really from shooting a half-hour video to you have to import the data to the desktop. So it's like 30. It might take an hour to edit. That's 2 hours. It might take 30 minutes to upload. Even if it uploads in 5 to 10 minutes, y'all, it'll still say that it's checking it and checking it and checking it. It takes about 30 minutes to develop a thumbnail. You could have 4 or 5 hours invested in a video. Yeah. And that's why it is very nice to stream it. If we stream it, I mean, it's instant. And it's like, I kind of feel a little lazy inside. So I really try my best to stay interactive. So we try to bump up the quality on that end, the storytelling and stuff. So anyway, but I absolutely love it. I rather be putting 4 to 5 hours in a video than having to go out and work a normal Joe Schmo job, or just maybe not a Joe Schmo job, but just a normal job and just everyday grind, It is trickier I do feel the pain for the YouTube channels out there that they put in all the time and they put 4, 5, 6 hours in a video and it doesn't do anything. And any y'all familiar? No, I'm a little bit off screen. Sorry. I'm not trying to, I don't want to block Buddy, but I can move you over a little bit. Move me over a little bit. Just so beep, boop, beep, beep, boop, bop, boop. Wrong way. Wrong. There we go. Whoa. Okay. That way I don't have to block Buddy. Whoa. Sorry, y'all. Well, you didn't know what was in Matt's tea. Somebody spiked his tea. All right. Who spiked your coffee? That's a joke, y'all, from high school. Yeah, that's not. We had a science teacher. So I went to government. Yeah, tell them about that. Right? That is so hilarious. I always crack up. So I went to government school. This is hilarious. And my 8th grade science teacher wore a muumuu. So for any of y'all that are unfamiliar with what a muumuu is basically like a Little House on the Prairie nightgown, except they called it a muumuu and you wore it during the day. And my science teacher, she would wear a muumuu to class, and she always had a coffee mug with her. But I believe she always had like a fifth of gin or something in her coffee. And
why? It was like how she acted or something?
Yeah, she acted like she was drunk. And my gym teacher would say, "Who spiked your coffee?" Like that. So that was like an inside joke. Who spiked your coffee? So that's government schools.
And we don't drink, by the way.
In the late 80s, y'all. And that was my science teacher. I'm surprised she wasn't talking about global warming back then. Global warming. They didn't really have global warming back then. They didn't know about it yet. So even though they wrote about it in 1970, Club of Rome article, but there you go. Anyway. So, okay. So what were we talking? Oh, so hey, any of y'all that have any Restream notes and tips and stuff, definitely send us an email.
Please.
Because just like the guy that said, "Hey, go in the settings."
Yeah.
I mean, just like that. I mean,
boom,
that was great.
instant. Carlos had a question. Have I ever had a normal job? Describe normal. Or regular. I think you said either regular or normal. No, not really I've never had a 9-to-5 job. The only more kind of maybe regular job I've ever had was working on a ranch, and I would show up at one time and leave kind of at one time sometimes. But that was the first time I ever got to work like 60 to 70 hours a week. And those were fun times. So
somebody said it was the ozone layer back then, and that's so true, because that's when the chlorofluorocarbons in all of our aerosol, Aquanet hairsprays was punching holes in the ozone layer. But they fixed that. They were able to stitch the hole in the ozone layer. Buddy, what do you got, buddy? Give us some words of wisdom, buddy.
Well,
you're looking really happy.
What were you doing?
What were you just doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, I was riding pony.
You're riding pony.
Riding gunner, pone. And tell them about your new horse you're going to train up.
So my new horse,
talk up a little.
We just swapped her with our old one.
Yep.
So
the one that kicked, yeah.
Yep. So she's 16 months old. So she just came into riding around the riding age. So tomorrow I'm actually going to be putting a saddle on her, but she's doing really good. She's bonding with everybody. Really
she
good.
Is sweet. She is a sweet girl. So
we've just got to put a lot of weight on her.
Yeah. She needs a lot of weight.
Thin.
She's thin. Yeah.
Did the exposure just ramp up?
Yeah, the exposure went way up, and I'm not quite sure why it did that. So that's why my face is blown out a little bit, but I don't know why it's doing that. Now it's going down.
Buddy for president. There he goes. It just auto. See now our new OBS camera has a lot of AI stuff.
A lot of AI stuff. So like this background here, that's why it kind of does this fuzzy thing.
It's learning all of ours. It's for what's that one government program? It's called signature reduction. If you want to see something really neat, you need to go on your Brave browser and type in signature reduction, and it'll make your hair turn clear. But it's very interesting, signature reduction. And what it is there's, I don't know, 87,000 agents of various alphabet soups, and they're basically designed to be and look and act like and have the same fingerprints as other people. And they, they'll be in your chats, but they'll be in reality. And even the fake hand skin has human oils on it and everything. Signature reduction.
What?
Signature reduction.
That's weird.
It's called signature reduction because you don't know who they are and they disappear into the ether.
Huh.
Yeah. It's like deep fake in real life.
Interesting. Okay. Can you read the comments, Buddy? Buddy can read the comments, Mark. So if you want to leave a comment.
Let it rip, Mark. It's going to be right behind
It's
you.
right there.
It's down there, buddy.
By the mic.
It's by the mic, though.
Yeah. So if you move this over.
Yeah, let's scoot
and if you scooch this over. 5 hours videoing and then taking care of the farm. Wow.
It's a lot. It is a lot, yo. I mean,
it's a lot.
But that's, it's part of the reason why we're still on this platform is Matt and the boys have put in a lot of time and developed their business and the website and just invested an enormous amount of time. And so and it's finally starting to pay off, you know,
Yes.
and they're saving their money, and they want to do, you know, they have lots of goals, and they put in a lot of time and effort, and it's paying off, and they don't want to just toss that away.
Yeah.
And we do absolutely want to migrate to other
Absolutely.
platforms.
But those other
them.
platforms are going to have to kick it into high gear and get their stuff put together.
Yeah, like Super
Yeah.
Honest, y'all. Okay, everybody's
Honest
all rumble,
engine.
rumble. So
Rumble.
I just, you know,
Rumble.
their interface, buddy's checking on James. Their interface, they won't give you your, and maybe somebody on here knows, y'all. Okay, so they won't give you your streaming key information till you set it up.
Really?
And so that's part of what makes it difficult. And then, well, Restream said that we could do 2 at a time, but since Rumble is a custom RTMP, it won't let you do a standard one and a custom. It would let you do one from all the, y'all, if you knew how many of these retarded like gaming streaming apps there are, there's like 40 of them. And so it's all like Twitch and every other retarded thing on the planet. So the reason we're not doing more on Rumble is it's not that user friendly.
Not yet.
I'm a borderline idiot, y'all. You need to make it.
I'm not agreeing with you, but
it's what Ernest Hancock.
saying Rumble.
Ernest Hancock calls it the grandma just button or something. You got to make it idiot proof. So it's like push the button.
Yeah, and like we've said in the previous live streams, okay, you're going to make a new alternative media source. Make it at least 1% better than YouTube, because you're going to have all these people on YouTube and they get in their groove and their YouTube groove, and you know, you get all your subscriptions and your notifications, and then you go onto these alternative platforms and they're a pain in the butt. And
they are.
They're just
like everybody talks
annoying.
about BitChute. BitChute is brutal.
I've never been on there.
And it's just brutal. It's like impossible to navigate, impossible to upload. It's very difficult.
I always find Odysee and Rumble, because I'm coming from doing hundreds of hours on YouTube, and then I'm going on to another platform, and then I pretty much have to relearn everything of how to maneuver around there, and it just messes with my brain. So I'm just glad that it automatically posts our videos over there, so then I don't even have to go over there and mess with it. That's how inconvenient it is. Odysee is good. We are on Odysee. They are way better. They're way more like YouTube.
This is going to be great. This is how we're going to do.
Here we go.
So question, do y'all think the
Boom.
dollar will collapse by the end of this month or November?
Interesting.
There was a executive order, a mandate that went out regarding that's associated with the central bank digital currency that had the date December 13th in it.
Okay.
Will something happen on or by December 13th? Possibly. I mean, it's just like the Great Depression. You know, they collapsed the dollar when they wanted it to collapse.
Brand new tube. Nope, never seen brand new tube. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I do not think it's going to collapse unless it happens by the end of the year. I still don't even. It's so overinflated and manipulated. It almost appears like they can prop it up indefinitely. But I don't think, because of the petrodollar and because of what's going on with OPEC right now, I don't think it can collapse until that OPEC agreement collapses, because basically oil's pegged to the dollar. So until BRICS and until Russia and the BRICS gang completely bypasses OPEC and does that, I don't think the dollar can collapse.
So when it does collapse, what do you think is going to happen? Are they going to go to like a Fed coin?
Yes, I believe that exclusively they want to collapse it to migrate everybody to central bank.
So then everybody that has the dollar in their bank accounts and everything like that. So what are they going to do? Switch?
Well, it's going to be,
what are they going to do?
It's going to be worthless. And
yes.
So what the Fed,
and people are going to panic.
Yeah. So what the Fed's going to do is like, don't worry about it. No, we're going to allow you switch dollar for dollar from your fake fiat American currency to this credit, the CBDC, the central bank digital currency, and this is backed by less than nothing.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll see what happens. What was supposed to happen? Was it September 24th or something? What was that thing?
I never got all the, like, the world was supposed to end on September 24th, but I didn't get the memo.
I didn't. Everybody kept saying it.
I think it wasn't on the Mayan calendar. I think it was on the Aztec calendar. But yeah, all this corny junk. Half that junk's like COINTEL.
Yeah.
And it's like Q and nonsense and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Some stuff
Now, how do I take his?
Okay, go down. Go down.
Can I?
Yep, right there. Just press hide. And then I'll take this and I'll just go back here. And just in case y'all just jumped on, we have this right here.
Yes.
83K for 10% off the whole entire website. So you can get 10% off these.
If you like the shirts, buy the shirts.
Yeah. And we got local honey, organic, local honey, all types of stuff like that.
Oh, we had a couple orders come in. Thank you.
We had wax. Oh, we got new wax melts. Y'all, these wax melts are incredible because, first of all, they're organic soy, grown in America. And then we just add in our oils and everything like that. And you can buy them in like 5 packs. And you can just, if you're not really feeling like, lighting a candle in and everything like that. And sometimes in certain situations, the wax melter is a little bit more safe than a candle. If you want to keep it on later at night or something like that. So you can go check them out over at TheTexasBoys.com. If you like this, if you want to support what we do here on the farm. Yeah. So somebody was saying in the comments about, too much screen time being unhealthy. I'm not perpetually on the computer. Certain days are longer than others. Some days I'll be on here and then I'll look up and look at the time. I'm like, wow, I've been on here for 6, 7, 8 hours and I got to get up and do something in reality. Even though I'm not like wasting my time, indulging in stupid stuff. Like I'm working on my business, but I do find myself having to, just turn it off. Even if I got work to do, take a 15, 20, 30-minute break, go outside, pet the horses, maybe do a couple chores, clean up the yard, do some stuff out there, then come back in
Rick
and keep
wants
on
to know
working.
if the soil ruined his testosterone.
What?
I don't believe.
What's he saying?
I think he's talking about the candle melts, the soy from the candle melts. Maybe.
No. No, maybe like if you held it, if you had the wax melts melting there and you just inhaled it all night long.
I think you'd have to freebase it. You'd have to think and inject yourself with it or something. I don't know.
It's like one little tiny soy wax cube. So
we're getting more soap very soon. We get it from a Homestead mama in down near Katy, and I know she's already made it and everything. And it's got to set up and cure. And so it was scheduled for October, so we should be getting it this month.
Making candles from beeswax would cost a bloody fortune. So I'm not even going to say if you would want beeswax candles because it would cost me a load of money to get beeswax and do that whole thing. And then between the shipping and everything, and then when they break, oh my word, it would be terrible. So I'm just sticking with Made in America Freedom Soy Wax. And if you think soy is going to kill you, whatever.
Rick says he's no soy boy.
Oh,
we
boy.
know, Rick, if anybody's not a soy boy,
You're not a soy boy, dude.
Oil lamps are great. We have several oil lamps in our pantry.
Yes.
Several. Soy wax is safe. To my knowledge, inhaling the burning of a melting soy wax, I don't think it goes to.
If you're not eating it,
sinus, I don't think it works like that, y'all. I don't believe so.
Don't.
I am not a doctor or a scientist,
and we don't pretend to be one.
Stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night
and sniff soy wax melts,
but you can get it from the droplets. When are you going to get the soaps? Oh, well, soon. This month.
Very soon.
We're gonna get the soaps.
Ooh, yes, the pumpkin caramel crunch is the bomb. It is really good. Every time I'm, it's so funny because since we have our own tiny house and everything, that is the best smelling house ever, because we go in there and we're making those things, and when we go to sleep at night, I mean, it's just
there you go. Outliers
smells so
dropping the
good.
science on you.
Oh,
The
here we
hormone
go.
disruptors in soy are in the protein, not the oil.
Boom.
All right,
There you
so
go.
You're not going to turn into a goyle by
Goyle.
boiling a soy candle, y'all.
Soy and CBD.
CBD, bro. Hey, our CBD coffee is selling great.
Yeah.
And our
It's
nootropics,
CBD.
our lion's mane.
Yeah, CBD coffee is where it's at.
Super smooth.
It's very nice. And it's just, I don't know. It's just overall really good stuff. And it's not synthetic. It's organic CBD coffee.
If we could harvest our beeswax, it's just too expensive to harvest our
Yeah,
beeswax.
I've already went into depth, and I kind of talked about it on the last live stream. The thing is I was talking to my bee mentor, and he was like, guess what the most, what would be the word for it? Guess what the most, expensive thing that the bees can create? And I was like, the honey, I guess. He was like, no, it's actually not that. It's actually the wax, because how you harvest the wax, every time you harvest the honey, you don't just take all that comb out of there and crush it up and then you have your wax. You actually don't want to do that, because your bees would be working outrageously hard to keep building back the comb every time. So actually,
would they build back better though?
No, not like Sleepy Pants, Brandon. So anyway, but they build back better.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
Anyway, so mainly you get the wax from when you decap it. That's the little bit of wax that you do get. I guess you could grow bee. He did say that too. You could just have some hives just for growing wax. Yeah, but the thing is that the bees have to have their stomach full of nectar for 3 days before they start making wax. So it's quite a thing. It's quite a ordeal. So
it's involved, y'all.
It is. The whole bee thing is.
Has Texas Mom been removed from the channel?
Texas Mom.
She gave the thumbs up. But y'all, she's gonna have her own channel.
She's gonna have her own channel. Boom, boom.
There you go.
So the droplets. BBP. I don't know what that is.
Build back better.
Oh, build back. We need that for a t-shirt.
It is amazing how much honey will come out of a single comb. It's incredible.
It is insane. And I've seen those 1870s Homestead actually has a flow one or whatever.
Oh, they have a
flow hive. Yeah. And those are very interesting. And I've seen people with really good reviews on them, and some people.
Yeah, doesn't Jake have a flow
hive? Jake from
White House
on a Hill. He has one, which is so funny because Jake started his channel from White House on a Hill when we started our channel. Actually a month, or how did it go? He started after we started our channel, and he's just about to hit 1 million subscribers. Yeah. So, but if you don't talk about the sacred cows, you can have as many subscribers as you want.
No. What do we know about chemtrails? Well, we know that they aerosolize heavy metals and spray them on us, and they were doing it today. Exclusively, extensively.
Yep.
And it's brutal. And when they do, my allergies are terrible. And I feel like, super brain fog. That's what I feel like. And it's amazing because when they're doing it, we're like shooting videos and stuff. Yeah. And you're just like, trying to when did I what's the word I'm trying to think of?
I know.
It's
right?
Crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's absolutely
terrible.
Dane Wigington's done an enormous amount of geoengineering stuff. You can check out Dane Wigington. Somehow he's still on YouTube.
You can go right to the Texas government website.
Yeah, the Texas.gov has their own.
If I stayed inside every time I saw chemtrails, I would permanently be inside.
We would just never be outside.
Yeah. They, at least down here in Texas, they spray almost daily. It's pretty sad. It's not as bad as some spots that I've seen, but it's it is weird to see a normal sky without at least 1 or 2 chemtrails in it.
If you're looking
So-
for high quality regenerative beef, check out the beefinitiative.com. And that's all regenerative farmers that are selling their beef. And you can find, they do like a beef box, like a butcher box.
Yeah, but first, I would go out and see if you have any local farmers, though. And if you can't find any local farmers, then go to the beef.
And Beef Initiative, a lot of them are local.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a growing network.
It will like help you find
it's
local
by
people.
state.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Then go to
Beef Initiative is
there
by
you go.
state. So there's about 28
Because I'll
ranchers
tell
in
you this right
Texas
now, if you can get a deal with your neighbor, at least if I don't know, if it's your real nice neighbors, they will give you a neighbor discount. At least that's what we've had. That's what we do. We give our neighbors neighbor discounts, and they give us neighbor discounts on stuff that they sell. So that is why I always check with neighbors first before I go out and buy something or whatever. Either if I can borrow it, which I really don't like doing, but sometimes I do it if it's if it's like a more expensive type of tool. But yeah, if you can, man, buy local.
Our hives came from our friends. If you remember the videos back when our friend brought all of his hives down here to winter them, that's when we got our own hives. Way too much poison. I heard it's a foreign. Okay, click down to new messages, I guess. I think
this is the newest one.
Did I have my mouth open when I wasn't talking? I was like a mouth breather. I'm like a mouth breather.
Yeah, they've been spraying. Okay. Yeah, amp up the detoxing. Actually, I'm not trying to be cheesy, but we do sell this detox tea, and that stuff is really good. And I always feel way better after I have a big old quart jar of it, and I really like it. I'll mix it with chai tea, and it's pretty stinking good. Or sleepy time tea if I want a non-caffeinated version. I really like that. It's really good. But
oh yeah, borax to detox from heavy metal.
So what? Like a borax soak, like a tub soak type thing?
Do what, babe?
How do y'all detox?
I ain't gonna talk about it. It's personal. Do what? It's personal. Whenever I say it, people get all geeked out.
They always do. What's in the detox?
I detox the Gerson therapy way.
If you go on the website,
day,
I think the detox tea has all the lists.
And that's the only way to really cleanse your liver. And that's what Texas Mom does too. She does the Gerson therapy detox to purge your liver.
Carlos, of course we've messed around with blacksmithing, but hillbilly.
Yeah, have you watched all the
redneck
videos, Carlos? Come on.
Blacksmithing. I mean, you take some junk iron out of the forest and then you heat it up really hot in a hillbilly style forge with a vacuum cleaner for a blower. Of course, we've tried it. And, have fun doing it. Dandelion tea. Yes, we have dandelion tea too. We got roasted and raw too. Also,
it's very challenging people that want to deny chemtrails when weather modification.
Oh my word!
And
and
geoengineering, and now now Bill and the gang are all talking about it. It's the same thing. There's a document, and I shared it several times in the chat, not on the live streams, but all you have to do is Brave browser and type in "weather as a weapon," and you will find a military article written in the 90s or the 80s, in the 90s.
It's just so
and it
silly.
talks about weaponizing the weather and using it against your enemy, and they absolutely do it. So, I mean, now, does that mean that every time it rains or every time it doesn't rain or every time there's a hurricane or what? Does that mean that it's always manipulated? I mean, it could be, but no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and
so,
no.
it's just oh, they're doing this to us. Maybe.
And God's still in total control. You know, they can't control him. Period.
Right.
End
That's
of story.
True. Yeah.
So, some people are like, oh, I've seen the crazy comments out there, oh, they control the weather and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, they do as much as they can because they want to be God or their own gods or whatever. But at the end of the day, God is still in control. So even if they want to make it rain tomorrow, if God decides, I don't want it raining tomorrow, it's not going to rain tomorrow. Okay. So there you go. Truth bomb.
I take a lot of iodine as well.
Yeah, and I take zinc too. The old zinc. It's very good. It's good for the skin. It's good for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've seen some monkey work stuff. Some people have shared that.
Monkey work?
Yeah, that's the guy that does the sit rep thing, and he
Sit
gets
rep?
Yeah, so
I'm blanking right now.
sit rep is like
It's
a
the
military
chemtrails.
term. But he actually has the maps when they send the chemtrail planes up.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I don't know how he has that information.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting.
Well, outlier, a lot of what's going on is very
Which one?
biblical in context.
I'll put it up.
Oh,
on the screen.
he says I'm an atheist, so outlier says I'm an atheist, so I get to remain scared, still love my theist friends.
Oh.
And well, there's you can still consider
Yeah.
consider what the scriptures say, and we're watching a lot of things unfold that are very much prophesied.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not it's very probable that the majority of Revelation can have already been fulfilled. So I'm not where a lot of pre-tribbers are, and where a lot of people that say, this is the toe of this beast, or this is this rider on this horse or whatever. But absolutely, if you read different older writings, they were historically premillennial, where they showed that a lot of these prophecies had already been fulfilled. I don't believe that the devil is chained right now or anything like that. I mean, he's still actively working, but it's just something to consider.
Yeah.
For you to consider.
Mhm.
And
Food for thought.
yeah, weather is a force multiplier, and that was you can look up the weather as a weapon is that exact force multiplier document. It was the older version of that force multiplier document.
Yeah, and I think the more they monkey with the weather, the worse and worse these hurricanes and storms do get. I do think that, right? The more they monkey with all the junk and all types of stuff like that.
Well, what's hilarious
Spray the
is it's a
chemtrails
double
and stuff.
dip. They continue to monkey with it, and it gets worse and worse and worse. But then they blame it on climate change. That's what makes this whole thing so hilarious.
Yeah.
Is they continue to jack with it and monkey with it.
They're like, see how bad it's getting?
And fiddle with it. Yeah, and then they're like, oh, it's so terrible, and it's because cows fart.
No, it's not. It's because you jack with
fart.
It. Yeah, exactly.
It's because you stink. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
literally.
why.
Literally.
Yeah.
Spray it all over us.
Where do I think we're in Revelation? See, where we can talk a little theology.
Yeah, it's actually 8 o'clock.
Where a lot of people want to put so much, and they'll say, look to Israel. The modern day machination that is quote unquote Israel is a UN Rockefeller machination that does not match the scriptural borders. So I do not believe that the recreation of quote unquote Balfour 1948, 49, whenever that was, I don't believe that is some fulfillment of prophecy, because it's not the biblical border. So I believe the current machination that is quote unquote Israel, a lot of them are Bolshevik Russians, communists, and all of that. And that's why they're so objectively God haters, sodomites and all that stuff. So the current nation state of Israel hates God, has nothing to do with God. And they said we have no king but Caesar. And I believe that I still believe that Israel will be grafted back in, but the current nation state, and everybody's looking for this third temple. Well, here's the thing with the third temple. They've been saying that they've been rebuilding this third temple since 1950, right? And then somebody just said, oh, they just sent 3 red heifers. And I think they actually came from Texas. They just sent 3 spotless red heifers to Israel because they keep claiming that they're going to magically somehow build this temple overnight and then start the sacrificial offerings again. And if you read the book of Revelation and it talks about the abomination, desolation, that he's going to sit in God's seat, right? And the offering and oblation will cease. Well, everybody looks at that as like this third temple that's going to be built in quote unquote the current modern state of Israel, right? And they're going to start offering sacrifices to God again. Here's the thing. Christ has already come and made that final sacrifice. So those sacrifices, if they were to ever take place, which we're yet to even see it remotely to happen, if they were ever take place, would be a complete and total and utter abomination to God. So then the Antichrist can't cut that off and stop it because it's already an abomination. With that interpretation of Revelation, it's clearly saying that those sacrifices are a biblical good thing, and they're clearly not. So will that actually happen? I don't think so. I don't think that. And if there is a third temple, it'll be used for geopolitical terms, just like the current nation state of Israel is exclusively used for geopolitical terms. How does Israel have nuclear weapons? How is that even humanly possible? And they claim all this anti-Semitism stuff, and don't get me wrong, there's all this weird like anti-Jew stuff and people that overtly hate Jews and they want to blame the Jews for everything. But at the same time, there's this same like everything is anti-Semitism, and if you're not like John Hagee, rah Israel and they're God's people, and I'll bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you, that's crazy taking stuff out of context to say that verse means that we as modern day need to treat differently this UN machination that's called Israel that does not even qualify with the proper biblical borders. That's just some serious twisting and a misunderstanding of Scripture. And now that doesn't mean that I hate everybody that's over there. I love the quote unquote Israelites that are quote unquote Jews, if they are, and however they determine that. Okay. I love them just as much as I love the Palestinians, and it is a completely apartheid state. It's a completely, and this is the kind of stuff you probably can't even talk about this stuff on YouTube, when you get talking about, but it just, and so that's really what sets the stage for the book of Revelation. It's paralleling it with the book of Daniel and then saying, well, all this stuff is Israel. And I don't see it that way. I was taught all that. I was taught pre-trib, and I was taught pre-trib, and I taught pre-trib, and I'm very familiar with pre-trib. I'm very familiar with all of Scofield's stuff. The pre-trib dogma is exclusively Scofield. It's exclusively Scofield, and then another guy by the name of Ruckman took it to like the 10th level of Hades. But it's completely and totally and utterly wrong. It's none of the pre-trib, none of Scofield's notes and Scofield doctrines aligns with Scripture at all. It's all a fabrication and a twisting. And that, I started studying that heavily, just looking at Christian persecution and through studying Baptist history and seeing that Christians were persecuted for their faith. And we that live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. And that's antithetical to this pre-trib notion that the most Laodicean, lukewarm generation in the world's history is going to get some Willy Wonka ticket and get sucked out of here before they suffer any persecution from the Antichrist. It's just not reality.
Everybody's saying amen.
I believe in pre-trib. Bill back. What? Yeah, Schofield was absolutely terrible. What do you think about the subject, Matt?
It's all very kind of new to me because I'm all still learning all the things. So I just try to sit back and absorb all of it. So, but I think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I definitely don't disagree with it.
No, I will never change my mind. I thoroughly studied the pre-trib, and I am exhaustively, absolutely. It is, first off, if you just study where the pre-trib doctrine came from, it is absolutely, well, you got to study Enoch and all this stuff. No way, man. It just doesn't exist. It never existed in ancient Christian writings till Mary McDonald and all that stuff. It didn't even exist until it came from the Brethren, the Church of the Brethren in the 1800s. The pre-trib doctrine did not even exist. And we are very much more orthodox like Spurgeon, and there wasn't no pre-trib doctrine. It just did not exist. It didn't exist in ancient writings. It's a much newer doctrine. It's exclusively an American doctrine. It's very American. And it's all like, America ain't in the book of Revelation because America going to get the pre-trib rapture out of here and all them American Christians, because America is a Christian country. And that's why we're going to get the pre-trib rapture and get sucked out of here before the Antichrist. I bet you Antichrist, I bet you he's one of them Taliban over there with a turban on his head. Them Taliban, he's just like a terrorist, that Antichrist. He's probably a Taliban or Al-Qaeda.
Carlos, to answer your question, I can't say the first word because that would be the misinformation. But anyway, if it came to no access to food, I don't care. I would still not get it. Period. End of story. I've seen, we are the only, except for another part of our, one other part of our family that didn't get it, but everybody else in our family got it. If you know what I mean. And it ain't good. It's not good at all. Terrible. But no, if it came down to, they were like, you need it to buy food. Well, sorry, I ain't buying your food. I'd rather starve than do that. And I will figure stuff out. I'll go grow food and stuff like that and hunt and fish and stuff, but I ain't doing that.
Do pre-trib believers point to any specific verse in Revelation? No, because they say the church is not mentioned after chapter 3 unless you go to chapter 22 when it mentions the church again. And they say that's why the word saints is used, and it's all a bunch of just double talk and talk. Here's the thing. If saints were going to be pre-trib raptured and not suffer tribulation, why were all the apostles, save one, martyred? Why were the Waldenses slaughtered by the Catholics? Why were the Waldenses, to the tune of 1 million Waldenses, slaughtered by the Catholics? They weren't good enough to get the Willy Wonka pre-trib. Why is the Book of Martyrs Mirror? What are the millions of martyrs written about in Martyrs Mirror? Why were none of them pre-trib raptured out of here? Why did they suffer persecution and martyrdom? The pre-trib rapture, it's an absolute abomination and slap in the face to all of the ancient Christians that were slaughtered. Man, the Baptists and the Anabaptists were slaughtered because of their baptism. Oh, you want to be baptized? I'll baptize you with your third baptism. And they drowned them in the river. All the reformers, Calvin and Luther and Zwingli and all that stuff. And supposedly, like, why didn't they get pre-trib raptured out? Because they weren't worthy of some fake pre-trib rapture. There just is not a pre-trib rapture. All the proof texts for the pre-trib rapture are extracted from context. And it says at the beginning of the book of Revelation, hey, you need to read this and know it and understand it. And if you look at people like John Gill and other commentaries, I mean, you're not going to, if you look at more orthodox, older commentary and writings, you're not going to ever find remotely a reference to a pre-trib rapture. It does not exist. It didn't exist. And I am pre-millennial. Okay, the millennium is going to happen. Jesus Christ is coming back. He's going to establish his kingdom. I think the scriptures are incredibly clear on that. You know, we can debate that all we want, and I'll give it to you. You know, if you want to, but I'm telling you, I'm either a post-trib, right? Which is why we prepare. Hey man, if I was pre-trib, I wouldn't prepare for nothing. Why? I don't got nothing to worry about. I'm going to get yanked out of here right before it gets bad. So I'm not even going to buy food next week.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And look, y'all, that's what I want to point out. This is the biggest thing about preparing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
None of any of this crazy stuff that we've seen in the last 2.5 years, they're not Christian persecution. This is general, like psychotic tyranny.
I know. Yeah.
This is just the hating of God's creation.
Yeah,
is all this is, you know. And it is going to get real. It's going to get real, and all of this misplaced tyranny that's being applied to people that don't constrain their carbon is going to be directly applied to Christianity and Christians and true Christians,
sadly.
Not just, you know, Chinos, Christians in name only.
Yeah. Yeah, and that will definitely weed out a lot of these fake Christians that we have in our society from the actual real, legit, born again Christians, you know, is when that happens, you know. So
yeah, and a lot of the pre-trib stuff came from Dallas Theological Cemetery and ICE and all those guys. You know, they proliferated that stuff, but it's not orthodox whatsoever. And it's not seen anywhere in scripture. You have to say that, well, Enoch was translated and Elijah was translated, you know, and those are the two. Somehow, because God took those two men, that means that some certain whatever generation or whatever is going to like be raptured out. When there's no scripture, there is not one single scripture. There's a last trump, right? There's a last trump, and the last trump is the last trump, right? There's not multiple trumps. And then you'll get this with the pre-trib. Well, that's on his first, second coming. So he's going to have a first, second coming, and then there's the gleanings, and then he's going to come again, and he comes like 5 times. Okay? He's going to come the last time, right? It says if you don't understand the parable of the wheat and the tares, you're not going to understand any parable, right? And when he sends his angels to gather, what does he gather? He gathers the tares. He doesn't gather the wheat. He gathers the tares first, right? And there's the last trump. And the last trump has to be the last trump, or it can't be the last trump, because the last trump is going to be the last trump. And that's just like basic scripture that can't be taken out of context. When it says last trump, that can't be taken out of context.
It's not Donald Trump.
You can't. The last trump may be Donald Trump.
Okay. Y'all are like super legit people that are on this live stream, because sometimes I wonder when we start to talk about like these deep subjects.
Why don't you guys all disappear?
Like nobody disappears. It's so awesome. And I'm like so thankful for y'all, because y'all are like legit. Like y'all just stay on for the ride. Like even if you don't perfectly agree with us, which we won't all always agree with everything, you know.
Do a study on the silver trumpets.
Okay.
Enoch walked with God 300 years ago. Easy there. I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like some Ellen G. White thing.
What?
Good old Enoch. I saw good old Enoch on Saturn. When I was astro projecting onto Saturn, I saw good old Enoch. Right before I wrote my book about how Sunday worship is Satan worship. There are different trumpets. Stop it. Come on, Noah's Ark. Show me some writings pre Mary McDonald, that anybody taught a pre-trib rapture. I was ingrained in that pre-trib stuff. I mean, indoctrinated. Like, if you were anything but pre-trib, oh, dude, you were like a stinking heretic. Oh, dude, I hope I'm going to be caught up in the pre-trib. I hope I'm wrong. It's going to be awesome. That's the one biblical doctrine I want to be absolutely terribly earth-shatteringly wrong.
That
on.
would be amazing.
That's like the best doctrine that you can be wrong on, is the pre-trib rapture.
Yeah, for real.
Right before I get my head cut off, is like, oh, dude, they were right. I thought I was gonna get beheaded. I thought that the saints that endure to the end, I thought that I was really gonna suffer like martyrdom, just like all of millions and millions and hundreds of millions of Christians since Christ's first resurrection. I thought that I was going to suffer a similar demise as many of them, but for whatever reason, I'm just lucky. I just got the Willy Wonka golden pre-trib ticket. What's that, Mommy? Yeah, what about modern day martyrs? There are Christian martyrs now.
Yep.
Mary McDonald, she's the
I've never heard
Pentecostal chick that had the vision about the pre-trib rapture.
Okay.
And then so it was that Brethren guy that really started pushing. I haven't studied my my pre-trib rapture stuff in probably about 10 years or so, but there was the Church of the Brethren guy. He's the one that took the Mary McDonald vision. She was like a 14 or 17-year-old girl, and she had this unbiblical vision, and he wrote it down, and that's where all of that pre-trib, that's when it started in the I'm saying 1800s, the 1600s.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
And that was Church of the Brethren.
Whoa.
Let's see. I don't know. You can talk to me. Let me see if I can find this. You can talk to him. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Trying to look.
Oh, I'm saying Mary McDonald, Margaret McDonald. I'm sorry.
$16.16.
Okay, Margaret McDonald was born in 1815.
What was it?
And let's see.
Oh, 1815? That's when she was born.
Yeah, so it was Darby, John Nelson Darby. He took Margaret McDonald's vision, and
overnight.
John Nelson Darby and Benjamin Wills Newton. They were both Plymouth Brethren. So that's where the whole Darby's concept of the rapture came from. That's why, it says that we'll be caught up to meet him in the clouds. So there is going to be a catching away. There's not going to, and the way that I see it on a biblical timeline is when Christ returns, he's in the air, we're caught up to meet him in the air, and we come back with him down here, and we're going to rule and reign with him. So where does the marriage supper of the Lamb take place? Probably in New Jerusalem, probably after he establishes his kingdom. I believe that when he's cleaning house and kind of settling things up and wiping people out and doing all that stuff, that there's going to be like a transition period, and that's probably going to be in the beginning of the millennial reign. But that's kind of where I am on my time.
It's always like so kind of crazy for me because I'm like kind of big picture. Because like I think as people, it's kind of even hard for us to even wrap our heads around that, because you get so like kind of not in the rat race, but just like in the, you kind of get real caught up with, the day-to-day type stuff. And then you really got to, think about what you're actually here for, which is kind of nuts because like one day this is not our whole entire life, like we're only here for like a split second compared to eternity, which is, it's just pretty crazy to think about. Like this whole place being
all melted.
Yeah, melted. It's all
going to burn.
It's going to be so awesome.
But while we're here, we got to plan and prepare.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
fight the good fight.
Yeah, I could have, if each generation thought they were going to cease to exist, how do you plan and prepare for the next generation?
Yeah, that's true.
And so we're gonna live here till we die. So I mean, that's it's kind of all part of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, there. If you look at historical premillennialism, there's lots of different very accurate historical representations of the four horsemen. So there's a lot of really interesting stuff that is historically accurate, and it makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. That's right, Rick. Occupy till he returns. Yeah, that's right. So that's what we do. We occupy till he comes, and I love talking about Scripture and biblical doctrines and all that stuff.
I like
we
listening.
Can talk about all that, and that's how it's really great talking about it and having discussions and even listening to people debate, because when they debate, it'll be interesting. Like the one guy will say something as a question. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. That's a good point. You know what I mean? And then you listen to another guy, and he'll, that's what I like about when we on Sundays, after service, when we sit around and eat and we talk about these things. It's just like, wow, I never thought about that. That's a really good point, And it's very good to have discussions, and the reality is you're never going to ever agree with anybody theologically 100% ever, whether it's
not 100%
favorite preachers or even brethren at assembly. You're just not going to ever agree with anybody, because I've changed many theological positions in my life. So, Well, Joe, thanks for hanging out till 4 a.m. Our kingdom is not of this world.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah. I had somebody was talking to me, and he was like, "We're pilgrims passing through. We're not of this world." But he was definitely coming from it from a mindset of not really getting involved with any of the current day events, and he didn't like me really talking about the current day events. But I was like, dude, we got to talk about the current day events, because that's reality. We all live on this earth that we call home for now, and of course, I'm saved, through God's grace. But since I'm here on this earth, I want to be a good testimony to everybody here, and that I'm around. But also, if I can help, that's the thing. Like you said, we can't always think about the world's going to end or whatever by the time my life's through. Like, it's not like when I'm 80 or some time then the earth's going to end or whatever. I have to be thinking about the next generation. So if I can sacrifice my life to make the next generation more free, I'll go ahead and do it. Or if I have to get on a YouTube channel or get on some platform and talk about the things that are happening in the world and, have people hear what's going on. And it's super crazy what's going on. Like the Amos Miller thing. If Doug didn't bring it up, really, if Doug didn't bring it up, really nobody would be taking action. And poor Amos wouldn't have any money whatsoever, and he would have got squashed, and it would have been really, really bad for all of us farmers here in the U.S. And Lord willing, he has the money now. So now it's up to the courts and the Lord to figure that whole mess out. And it's not Amos's fault. It's the Fed's fault.
The Bible was not altered by false prophets, because if
no.
God wrote the Bible, he's going to preserve his Bible.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
He wrote it. And we accept that by faith
yes.
because that's what it says.
Yep.
And we study it. We study it to show ourselves approved, and to, the Bible talks about the faith that was once delivered to the saints. And we can trace not only the scriptures down through history, but we can trace Bible believing Christians down through history. And with those Christians, there were also heretics, and there were also, spurious doctrines, and, like Marcion and these different men that, I love it. I think it was Tertullian that said to Marcion said, "Do you know who I am?" And Tertullian said, "Yes, I know who you are, you twofold son of the devil," or whatever. So, I love that. There's been a battle through history between God and God's people and the angel of light that transforms himself into an angel of light. But no marvel, right? So this battle between God and Satan, and God's book and Satan's book, right? This is the battle of the ages, and this is the way God designed it. And this battle will occur until God ends it. And God's going to do it. That's the beauty of Christ returning to get us, is when he comes back, we're not going to have to do anything, right? He's going to do it all. And it's going to be it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
And and we're just, we just need to shine the light.
Yeah.
And we need to be salt and light, and we need to walk circumspectly, and we need to be different. And that doesn't mean some people always want to resort to, well, God's in control.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And God, nope.
Yes.
By pointing out what's happening.
Yes.
And it would be, it's very similar. Okay. It's very similar. And there's a pacifist doctrine that many kind of like Amish and Mennonite hold to, right? And they're like, well, if my enemy's going to break into my house and rape my wife, then God's in control and I'm going to pray, and that's foolish, because we know that thou shalt not kill means that thou shalt preserve life. Thou shalt not steal, we know, means that you need to work, right? And thou shalt not steal means that you need to be able to own private property, because if you couldn't own, so all the commandments have inverse laws and rules that are absolutely quintessentially required to facilitate the other part, right? So if nobody owned private property, it would be impossible to steal. So how could there couldn't even be a mandate, thou shalt not steal, right? Just like thou shalt not kill means thou shalt preserve life. And absolutely, it says that you should love your wife as yourself. No man hateth himself, right? You should love your wife. Well, if I'm going to put a pair of shoes on so that I don't stub my toe, right? Or I'm going to wear a steel toe boot to work so that I don't break my foot. I'm going to protect my foot. Why? Because I love my foot and I need my foot so that I can work every day, right? Well, I'm certainly, if some lunatic crackhead breaks into my house and is going to try to hurt my wife, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as skillfully as I know how, eliminate him. Right.
Yeah.
And that's biblical. Right.
Yeah.
We resist evil. Right. Just like Rick says, you resist evil and bringing to light all these different evil things that are being foisted upon us is resisting it. It's bringing it to light. It's truth. It's not be like, because you know why? Because it's a lie.
Yeah.
It's a lie. Like the gas that comes out of my mouth is not bad. It's not hurt. Now it might smell terrible.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna. And if I didn't just brush my teeth and gargle with peroxide, it might smell terrible. Now if I brush my teeth and gargle with peroxide for about a minute, it smells very inert. Right? It doesn't smell bad. But other than that, it probably smells bad. But it is not harming anything. Right? That is a lie. Just like when they said to take a diaper and put it on your face, that was a lie. And you don't believe all the screech like, I got cancer. And hey, look, nobody's talking about that. Look, if you got cancer and you wear a mask, nobody's talking about that. We're talking about putting a diaper on your face to stop the thingamabob.
And you have the freedom to do that too. If you want to go ahead and do that, sure, go ahead and do it. But we're talking about the people that blatantly just want to do it because
because
I don't know,
of the lie.
Yeah, the lie
it's
that they're believing in. And they're not doing it. They're just doing it because they blatantly are believing a lie.
And we're just, we're not going to propagate a lie.
No.
It's just,
and that's all that those people are doing when they wear their mask.
And I'll tell you diaper. What, with the whole juicy juice thing where they want to hand out juicy juice to everybody. Any of these pastors, man, that are cool with the juicy juice, they have zero discernment. I mean, Christians can be deceived, right?
Yes.
But if you were a quote unquote pastor who watches for his people's souls and you were cool with the juicy juice, like,
I don't know.
I seriously question that you have zero discernment. If you can't see past the juicy juice, like, you're blind. And and the Bible talks about that. Dumb dogs that can't bark and the blind leading the blind, and they'll both fall in a ditch. And I've seen some of these pastors, like the Jeffress guy and all that stuff, and the Southern Baptist. Jeffress is one of the head guys out there at Dallas Theological Seminary. And it's all like, you need the juicy juice. We need to be safe. And you need the juicy juice, And now he wants to make a big deal because of the football guy. This guy in Australia.
Football guy?
Yeah, football like footballer. So not like American football.
No, it's like soccer.
But like soccer. So let me
like soccer.
Whichever
one's right.
Let me pull this up, y'all.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you pull it up on here? Or no? You're not that fancy.
I'm not that fancy yet. So a subscriber sent this to me, and it just got me thinking about it to cover it. And what it was, it's going to be way down here. We got a lot. Thank you very much, y'all, for many orders. But let's see here. Let me down here somewhere. Well, so this, here it is. So this fella, Andrew Thorburn, he was made the CEO of the Essendon Football Club, right? Okay. So that's a soccer team. He's a footballer. Yesterday was one of the proudest days of my life to be offered the role of CEO of the Essendon Football Club, who I have followed since I was a boy. It was a profound honor. At last night's Crichton medal, I could hardly contain my passion and wonder at the opportunity. I love the club, I love the people, and was incredibly excited about the work ahead. I had seen a picture of a club that was not as broken as feared, and that with leadership and focus could rebound strongly. Now, okay, so I'll just finish reading his post here. He posted this on LinkedIn. However, today it became clear to me that my personal Christian faith is not tolerated or permitted in the public square, at least by some and perhaps by many. I was being required to compromise beyond a level that my conscience allowed. People should be able to hold different views in complex personal and moral matters and be able to live and work together, even with those differences and always with respect. Behavior is the key. This is an all-important part of a tolerant and diverse society. Now, he's much more pragmatic than me. Let me be clear. I love all people and have always promoted and lived an inclusive, diverse, respectful, and supportive workplace where people are welcome regardless of their culture, religious beliefs, and sexual orientation. I believe my record over a long period of time testifies to this. Despite my own leadership record, within hours of my appointment being announced, the media and leaders of our community had spoken. They made it clear that my Christian faith and my association with a church are unacceptable in our culture if you wish to hold a leadership position in society.
Wow.
And this was in Australia. And they appointed him to this position to run this football club or whatever. And they immediately fired him because he belonged to a church. And what they did is they went back 6 or 8 years on this church's website, and they found a sermon that was that they found a biblical sermon, right?
Okay.
They held a biblical view of sodomy, and they said, oh no, well, he can't be our CEO because he goes to a church that holds a biblical worldview and that has a biblical understanding of what sin is. And they fired him before he could even work a day. And so that kind of stuff is coming.
So then they fired him, so he's not even allowed to play the old football, or?
Well, no, he was a
okay.
CEO, so he was past footballing age.
Okay.
So he was going to be the coach, basically.
Oh, okay.
So
okay, gotcha.
the head.
So now he's not even in with any of it,
no,
pretty
yeah,
much? Okay,
yeah.
Wow.
When is there a time to fight? All I hear is turn the other cheek. Well, first off, the turn the other cheek reference was a reference in context that had to do with being publicly shamed.
Yes.
You know, it didn't have anything to do with being non-resistant. So you resist when you're being threatened. And that's a great question. When do you do that? Well, that's something that you have to pray about, seek the Lord, and determine for yourself when you do that and how you do it and to what extent.
Yeah.
You meet force with force. So it's always to the extent in which you are being threatened. Whoa.
I know, it's just like.
So you're quoting by a sword. I like that's true. James top 28-year camera.
It's hard when she puts it like that.
Yeah, when it's all in
like weird.
I don't know how they do that.
I don't know how they do that. I don't know.
About being 71. I can't say almost anything. I feel like I'm 71. Just can I say whatever I want?
Huh.
Trump cut his ties.
Australian.
Should Trump cut his ties with Jared Kushner? Cut me a break. Trump. Jared Kushner's talking about living forever. Jared Kushner
Who's
is
Jared
literally
Kushner?
Jared Kushner is married to Ivanka, and they were both in the cabinet. And Jared Kushner is the biggest New World Order billionaire devil. And Jared Kushner said last week that his generation is either going to be the first generation to live forever or the last generation to die. And that's why he's working out, because he knows he's got to live forever.
Wait, he actually thinks he's going to live forever?
He actually thinks he's going to live forever. Jared Kushner. And
he's delusional.
He's a transhumanist devil.
Now,
And he's super tied in with the current
yeah.
thingamabob so-called nation state of Israel.
Does he
Very
think
tied in.
he's just going to like be able to get plugged in?
Yeah,
and live forever?
Yeah, he thinks
Okay.
he's a transhumanist.
Okay.
You know?
So kind of like
Farmer Brad. What are you doing,
Yo.
Farmer Brad?
long time no see, Farmer Brad.
Oh, he just wrapped up the HOA. So you were at the Homesteaders of America conference. That's
Nice.
awesome, man.
Wow. RV Lucky is 91. Wow.
Hot diggity.
So you can't say anything. You're not even close to that. All right.
There's a third temple and it will be destroyed. Maybe. I'll be very shocked when I see this third temple they keep talking about. That's all. John Moody is awesome. You got the Wayboy buying many bags of food. Oh, John Moody is great. And I appreciate John Moody's doctrinal views too. And I appreciate John Moody's patriarchal position of family leadership and the family unit. I'm a very big fan of John Moody. And if you see John Moody, Farmer Brad, you tell him Texas Dad is a big fan of John Moody. They just had this county over country conference, John Moody, and really good stuff because it's all about decentralized, local, and it's biblical, you know. Kanye just trashed Jared. I could see that too. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
don't believe in any modern day prophets. I believe that God wrote his book and he closed it. And at the end, he sealed it. And he said that nobody should take away or nobody should add to. And if a prophet is basically, I believe in prophets preaching the word. But if a prophet says something that aligns with scripture, then he's just reiterating scripture. If he says something extra scriptural, you know, that's heretical because God closed his book. So that's what I think of prophets. I believe that prophecy of new things, I believe that's like Mars Hill, you know, that's like Paul on Mars Hill. Hey, tell us something new, you know. But that's what I think of. Will we have any meetups next year?
I thought we might be, I don't know, it's up in the air, but we might be going back to the Oklahoma meetup.
I would say we would almost
liked
definitely
it.
be
Yeah.
going back to the Oklahoma Homestead meetup.
Yes.
Lord willing, if we can go, we'll
Yeah.
be there. And then very possibly this time next year.
Oh yeah, and thank you, Carlos, for the super chat. That was very nice of
thank
you.
you, Carlos.
Was it? You see something?
They're saying that the temple is built underground.
Oh.
I mean, I think that sounds great, but I think that would be very good to manipulate people if you said that it was built underground. But I'm not yet to see, you know. And then there's I won't get into it. But.
Mid-trib. There's mid-trib too.
Yes, yeah.
Pre-trib. Oh, okay, interesting. So you're like in between both pre-trib and post-trib, mid-trib.
Yeah, they think at the 3.5 year point you're gonna.
Oh,
yeah.
of what?
You know, because they say the Great Tribulation is that 7 years. You know, and they're taking. You know,
okay.
That's not in Revelation. You have to take Daniel and make that all work.
Oh. Okay.
And there's lots of similarities there. But there is no such thing as the Great Tribulation. That doesn't exist anywhere in Scripture. They take the phrase Great Tribulation and they insert the word "the" in front of it and make it a thing. And they make it the week of Jacob's trouble, which is from Daniel, not in Revelation. So there's a lot of jujitsu going on. All right, we've been on for 2.5 hours.
I know, it's like the longest live stream ever.
Yes, please, whatever you do, if you think you're going to be pre-trib raptured out and it doesn't happen, please don't let it shake you, which actually the saints can't be. It said that they would shake what can be shaken, and it says if it were possible, we would be deceived. I don't think the saints can be deceived ultimately, which is why I don't think the juicy juice, I believe the juicy juice is a real bad idea, but I don't believe that the juicy juice is a literal biblical thing. The juicy juice is not the mark or anything like that. That is, you hear James spackling. Yes, that's what you hear.
Yes, we believe if you're once saved, always saved. Yes, if you are truly saved by God. Yes, we do not believe in losing your salvation.
Yeah, God's people will go to heaven.
Yes.
That's who makes it to heaven.
Yes.
You don't earn your way
You're
to heaven.
not chosen or anything like that.
Yeah, you don't earn your way to heaven.
No. No good works can get you to heaven. Let's see here. I'm reading still.
We're very close to social currency. I mean, China already does it. So if China's doing it, then yes, Christ is the author and finisher of our faith, and we're sealed unto the day of redemption by the Holy Spirit. And no man can pluck us out of God's hand. So
yep,
that is the eternal security of a son or daughter of God. Yeah, I mean, we're as close to social currency as the mainstream will think it's cool. So baptism is obedience to God, and it shows a clean conscience towards God. Baptism has no salvic effect on you, right? Because they were baptized and added to the church, but the baptism was how they were added to the church. It doesn't save you.
Yeah, true.
The Bible clearly says that it's a clean conscience for God. God commands that you should be baptized, but that's where churches come in. The reason people don't like baptism is because they want to demonize churches everywhere and say the truth is dead and there are no real churches. So that way, instead of having to seek out and find a local biblical church that follows the scriptures, and so that way they have some place that would baptize them into their membership, they just say, well, all churches are evil. And then a lot of very confused people say, it's this whole Sunday worship thing, it's the mark of the beast, and they're taking their doctrine from like Ellen G. White.
Whoa.
And like, if I get another Ellen G. White book in the mail, any of y'all thinking about sending me The Great Controversy or talking to me about what
in the PO box?
Yeah.
What?
All the time.
Seriously?
I've gotten like 3 or 4 copies of The Great Controversy.
Oh my word.
And then I just got one of this new, like, they're going to institute these Sunday laws, and because because the elites want us to worship on Sunday, and I mean, come on, y'all. John Bunyan wrote a great treatise on Sunday versus Saturday worship. And I'm not saying like, if you want to do all that on Saturday and your assembly does that and your pastor and elders and they all want to do that, go for it. I'm not saying to don't do it, but we clearly see a example in scriptures where they met on the first day of the week. And there's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 verses in the New Testament that clearly show that. And it was in celebration of the resurrection of Christ. And it is the Lord's Day, and it is the first day of the week. So to try to extrapolate it into this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday thing, if you're going to say that Sunday is sun worship, you could say that Saturday is Saturn worship. It's not some kind of whatever. We don't have to get into the whole Sabbath discussion again, but you do not save yourself. No man can save himself.
No.
In the name of the Lord or not, no man can save himself. No, God saves.
Yep.
God is the author, and Gail Ripplinger is not good about learning about the King James Bible. Gail Ripplinger is, the Authorized Version Vindicated, or because Gail Ripplinger just has some lies in her books, and she makes up like Christian acrostics and stuff, and she's crazy. And I would highly recommend that nobody learn anything from a woman.
Yeah,
That's
for
just,
real.
yeah. I mean, that's just a tip.
Yeah.
But you should never get any of your doctrine from a woman.
Yeah.
Because women are to be silent and to be keepers at home, that the word of God is not blasphemed. And if they should learn anything, they should learn from their husbands at home. And I just want,
very true.
Now this whole feed's going to blow up because I'm an patriarchal heretic. That's why this fly is going to land me like I'm Barack Obama or something. But yeah, dude, Gail Ripplinger is not the person to learn anything from. That's for sure. You save yourself. You have a choice. I'm not sure where you get that from in Scripture, but that doesn't exist in Scripture. You do not save yourself.
Wow. Okay, so everybody just agreed with you. They said, "Bring it, amen." There you go. Boom.
Wow. Well,
that's impressive.
You guys continue to amaze me. Now,
I was waiting for like all this like crazy amount of people on here. They said LOL and I'm a woman. So there you go. So you didn't even offend a woman. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So.
Well, thank you.
You're flattered.
Okay, I'm staying for this. She's divorced. She probably is divorced. I don't doubt that. Yeah, she is terrible. There's a lot of really good books out there. They just posted it.
Posted what?
They just had the so if you want some great resources, okay, I'm going blank because of the chemtrails, y'all. It was
it's a real thing.
Man, I'm blanking it all the way out. The Text and Canon Conference, and what that talks about is the ecclesiastical text, which is what we understand as the Texas Receptus. But the Text and Canon Conference just posted their videos from this year. But if you want to get some really good information, check out the Text and Canon Conference. And one of the main speakers is, I'm spacing on his name right now. Sorry, y'all. The Text and Canon Conference. Here, let me look it up real quick. Because he's going to be Text and Canon Conference, not the Text and Canon Institute. I hope I just told you the right thing. Man, who is the guy I'm trying to think of? It really stinks that I can't think of his name. And it is...
Whoa. Crazy amount.
Man, there's a mosquito.
Yeah, it's
and
a fly
that keeps landing on my face. I am totally spacing y'all, and I can't find this guy right now. And
Got
this
him?
one fly. No, he's still right there.
Yeah, turd. Got a fly swatter.
New Hampshire. Hey, y'all. Are you positive the Apostle Paul meant women are not supposed to speak? Women are not supposed to speak in the assembly in a teaching fashion. You know, obviously, women are allowed to speak. They're just not allowed to teach. It says if you should learn anything at home, said if you should learn anything, you know, that you should learn it at home from your husband. And the church isn't a building. The church is the assembly, you know, so you have to act in like fashion. That's all. And it's okay. You'll be all right if you be quiet.
Not going to hurt you.
Not going to hurt you. You're not going to get a cramp, right? And then when you want to, if you got some questions, ask your husband at home. Your husband's the one that's supposed to be teaching you anyway.
Very true.
Carlos, man.
Carlos, you're nuts.
You got all
dude.
the great ideas, buddy.
If I could only do that, that would cost me so much money, bro.
I tried, and there's a lot of well digging and distant giving versus help of their own. What? Well, if you don't have a husband, do you have any elders or men at church? Do you have a pastor? I mean, you get biblical counsel from? You're funny, prep fraternity.
That's a good one. I was like reading through halfway through that comment and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, okay.
Context always helps.
It does. It does. Taking stuff out of context you can get down some crazy rabbit trails. Here goes. Idiot.
Driving.
He's
bonkers,
nuts.
y'all.
Yeah.
Because we have the horses over here, y'all. We have lots of flies, and it's like a little bit annoying. And I need to get like those nematodes for flies, but when one or two get in, they're very aggressive.
RV, I've seen women stand up and preach when there was no men that would do it. Yeah, I'd probably leave the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
so
not their
one can be
place.
saved without being baptized. Of course. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yeah. The thief on the cross was saved without being baptized. So, yeah, of course you can be saved without being baptized. Because Jesus said to the thief on the cross, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. And then they say, oh, well, that's paradise. That's not heaven. And they create some like third compartment or something.
What in the world?
But that's just not true. There is no other.
Oh, he's right here, right on the trash can. I think I got him. Stinker. Yep, here he. Oh, come on. He's right there too.
Yes, salvation and baptism are two different things. All right, y'all. Well, I'm in Florida. You guys are awesome. We need to start buying from Farmers Direct.
Very true.
That's a great idea.
Very true.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much. We got to wake up tomorrow.
10 o'clock.
Woo.
Yeah.
Man. But we've had a lot of fun with y'all talking, discussing. And thank y'all for being loyal and watching. And we'll have some new videos.
Wants to talk about women's suffrage. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I'm incredibly opposed to women's suffrage, but you create, especially in churches, but certainly at the ballot box, you create an environment where the wife could vote against her husband. Why be married? Hey, why be married if you want to vote against your husband?
Very true.
Why are you married?
Yep.
Something to think about.
Yep. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for getting on the live stream. We'll have some new videos coming out on Monday and all throughout the week. Lord willing, twice a week. Going to keep on doing that. So I would like to work in to y'all's schedule, so then y'all will always know that the Texas Boys post their React channels, React videos on kind of earlier in the morning, and then kind of in the evening time also.
Please, you certainly do not have to be baptized and speak in tongues. That is all Pentecostal additions to plain scripture. That is nowhere in scripture. Nobody was baptized and spoke in tongues and rolled around on the ground or any of that stuff. That is heterodoxy. That is not in scripture. That please do not, just study the scriptures for yourself and beg God to save your soul. God will show you the truth. If you seek him, you will find him, and his Holy Spirit will draw you to the truth. But please do not succumb to some spurious, terrible Pentecostal doctrine that you need to be baptized and speak in tongues. Please, I beg you, to seek the Lord. Do not be deceived and beguiled and deviled by that wicked, evil, Pentecostal, enslaving doctrine that you got to conjure up some machination of the flesh and talk a bunch of gibberish that nobody can understand. And it's just not in Scripture. And it's certainly, and let's give someone the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that tongues are unknown, are not a known language, which tongues in Scripture are known languages, because at the day of Pentecost, they spoke in tongues and every man heard in his own language the gospel. But let's say that they are an unknown tongue. They still certainly are not tied to salvation and being baptized and coming out of water, jibber jabbering and talking all stuff that you don't even know what you're saying. That's unedifying to anyone. So please do not be bewitched by that. Please seek the Lord and pray and beg God to save you, but don't be beguiled by that. Okay. Well, please just, just seek the Lord, study the Scriptures, cry out to God. He'll direct you. He will guide you into all truth. All right, y'all. Well, we just pray you have a blessed night. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep. See y'all later.
See, end street.
So it's